Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our D&D stream, the Benefactor. Mess that up. And this is session 4, where the characters who are in the city of Ostergald, which is in the realm that my homebrew games are based in, Illyria, have just come from a mission to interview, effectively, a practical test to gain the favour of Renata Green and to join her organisation. Shortly after doing the mission, they went into a chase through the city as Olivia Storm, the person who was interviewing them and testing them with the mission, found out that a street gang called the Razor Boys started attacking some of Renata Green's residents in a place called Hobson's Barrow. They went through the streets in a bunch of horses that were provided for them, and they ran into Hobson's Barrow after Olivia Storm chased the supposed leader of the Razor Boys, and they went in to find the remaining Razor Boys had killed a group called the Cobble Dogs. They started to flank, and Aiden walked straight up, bold as brass, and challenged them. The others have all taken their places and have already started to attack. And this is where we'll time in. Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
I will get these intros better, but
Hello.
there we go.
Well, we all suddenly woke up. We were all like, oh,
Oh shit, it's my turn.
I was just wondering why Roll 20 wasn't working for me, but it's fine. I'll get it figured.
Yep, we're using a new way of bringing the audio in, so if people keep cutting themselves off, it's because we're getting accustomed to push to talk. So, you guys, so you've hurtled through the streets of Ostergald and found this scene before you, which is in the middle frame here for the viewers, and on Roll20 for the rest of you, where what seems to be some form of adventuring party has been killed by these guys down here. I'll just zoom in for the viewers. Well, not zoom in, but reposition it for the viewers. So these guys here who have little pink blobs on them. I don't know why. I'll clear the drawings again. Clear. The three figures that you can see here. So there's a larger figure, which I will ping now. And can somebody ping the figures? Because again, I can't ping them. So there's a larger figure, which I've pinged to the players, but you won't see on the screen if you're a viewer. Thank you very much. Who is a large barbarian type with this giant axe, and he was intimidating a villager, a worker, a farmer for the city farm, Hobson's Barrow. The other two are Reaver types, so rough-looking guys with swords. There's a guy who's a little further down. You can see it at the bottom of the screen there, and he is more of your duelist type, and he, where the others were intimidating and oppressing this poor farmer who's just carrying this small a bale of hay, the duelist is just stood there with a smirk, or at least he was, until you guys came in and started attacking them. Aiden walked in and challenged them, and the rest of you guys threw around various spells and effects at the moment. So I think we've got through the entire surprise round. Is that your understanding as well? Yeah?
Yes,
Yeah.
we didn't roll for initiative as far as I know.
No, I deliberately didn't start initiative yet because I wanted to start at the beginning of this session. I was just making sure that you guys did everything that you wanted to do in your surprise round. A couple of things to note for the surprise round as a reminder. When Cora walked up to the cat, the cat turned round and said the word meow in a rather unimpressed tone.
I was going to say in a much more sort of non-cat meow.
Yeah.
It was meow.
Yeah.
Meow.
It was meow. Yeah. So, you guys have applied some damage already. Some fire, some stabbing. So, a good collection of that. I'd like to ask you all to roll initiative, please.
Because of course initiative has to be the first roll of the night.
Of
Grunt.
course.
Yeah, of course. Let's see. Be good to me.
Ooh.
Oh, that's not too bad. 10.
New
Close.
dice are ish 12.
Okay, 12 for Glory.
So that's a 13 total for me.
Oh, okay. So yeah, can you just say your thing when I ask you? So Cora.
Yeah, sorry.
7.
That's not so bad. I've had a lot worse.
Yeah.
Aiden. He's held up a finger for 1.
What's your bonus? What's your bonus?
He's showing me.
It's +3, but it's still a natural 1. So
You still
Okay.
get 4. You
4
still get
total.
4.
yeah, 4.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Well, get the ones out of the way
Uh,
and not in the combat.
We
That's-
all had surprise
Hold on.
round, so we've
Best to
Go
get a
ahead.
1 in initiative than anywhere else.
yeah.
That die has been sent to the dice jail, so
Yeah.
it should be fine.
That's an 18 for me.
Okay. Need to just put them back in. So
This is why you have a lot of dice.
Cora 7, Aiden 4. Farewell, what was yours again? 18?
18, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so
His nat 1 does tell me what I'm going to do, so that's at least useful.
okay. So I've got Eclipse on 13, Glory on 10, Cora on 7, Aiden on 4, Farewell on 18. Is that correct?
I
Yeah.
think Glory is higher
Yeah.
than 10.
No?
Glory,
12.
did you roll 12?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
12.
so 12. Okay, yep, okay, no problem. Right, I will start that now, and we are good. So, the smoke-looking fellow at the bottom, which I will just change for the screen. It's a bit of a large combat map for the people at home to follow. So,
Yeah, it's a very big.
Oh, Simon, you've muted yourself, I think, have you? Or not?
no, I.
Oh,
haven't.
you just went quiet. Okay.
Yeah,
was
I
looking
just
at
went
the
quiet.
stream with the delay. I'm a fool. Sorry. Hold on.
No, it's fine. I just need to load my end of Roll20. All these programs on, and the GM screen of Roll20 has frozen, so I'll just restart. Roll20 is very good, but it does do this on occasion.
And I think because we're 2 people on one internet, that's doing a lot of things at the moment.
Yeah. Okay.
I got spell cards. These are pretty.
Nice.
Nice. These are really useful.
Yeah.
Cute.
So I got my mage hand, I got my minor illusion, and I got friends. I don't have my first level spells at the moment because I've used all of them.
Yeah.
No worries.
Oh, God.
We're all gonna die. Session 4.
TDK, everybody roll new characters.
Oh man, to be ages to
Well,
figure out.
I already paid for commission. I don't want to make a new character.
That's the way.
Actually, whilst
This
we're
is why you draw your own characters.
Well,
We're
I
waiting
really
for that.
like Bill's artwork.
Whilst we're waiting for that, we can actually show those commissions as well. So that's one of the things I was doing during prep. So if I just put Corinne to the back here, I can show everybody at home the commission of Eclipse. It's not the full commission. That was on the loading screen, but that's what Eclipse looks like. And if I do the same here to Glory, or to Felicia, you'll see Glory. And similarly with Farewell.
My beautiful green boy.
Yeah, they are all looking very, very good.
my beautiful, beautiful cat.
Right. I do apologise for this, guys. Hold on. My laptop is normally very good at this, but
It's all right. We're all like paused, ready to fight.
yeah,
like,
poised, ready to
slightly
fight. And
nervous about it.
well, one of the things that I did, which I wasn't going to do it last minute, but I'm hoping it doesn't screw things up and doesn't take up too much bandwidth, is I had I put on the Discord app, and hopefully it's not going to take up too much of the processing power of my poor, long-suffering laptop.
I got a binder for my character.
That's very impressive. A whole binder. Is that just for one character or all your characters you play?
No, it's all my current characters I play at the moment. So I got Eclipse, and then I got my cleric I play on Wednesday, called May, and then I got my druid here as well, Luna. So I got a picture of her right here. Same artist I commissioned now. So this is Feline Trickster or Michelle, and she's does very good art.
Cool.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Not yet.
But should be. Please feel free to sponsor us, Kay. Thanks, bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should get you need to start getting used to shilling.
I was going to
Better
say more
start
along the lines of
practicing now.
people should get used to disaster streams because it's becoming our signature. So
Yeah. How's it going, Simon?
It's loading. Right.
But yeah, what I really like about it is this, where I can put my spell cards, like, nice and neat. So I got my druid spell cards, and then I have my cleric ones. I have to switch out because I've got too many spells, so I have to switch out between sessions, which one I keep in the folder.
God.
that's a proper D&D first world problem. That.
Yeah.
I've honestly considered making my own spell cards. It's not that hard, and Dad has a laminator machine, so I'll just steal it for a while.
Yeah.
You know.
It's not really
Yeah.
stealing. I'm sure Dad will give it to you.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Last time I asked for something, he was like, yeah, it's probably one in that drawer. That was the mic after my headset broke. Like, it's probably there's probably an extra mic in the keyboard drawers. And yes, we have keyboard drawers, as in multiple ones.
God.
Too much tech. Too much tech.
Yeah. I would not.
All sorted, Simon?
Yep, we are finally there, thankfully. Right.
Yay! Let's go.
Okay. Yep. Okay, it's just done it. Brilliant. Okay, so the duelist, who is this guy down at the bottom, is going to run up here.
He was before us all because we're crap at initiative.
He's a
Hey.
duelist. So he's going to run up to Iden.
Bring it
And
on.
he's going to attempt to do a series of lunges with this this really cruel-looking scimitar that he has. So the first
Sure.
one is a 10 to hit, which
Misses.
I'm assuming misses, and the second one's a 13 to hit. It's very showy, but you do notice there's a certain amount of a lot of showing off and not much substance to his strikes. He's
Right.
he's dancing around you. He's kind of ducking and weaving, and he's kind of doing a lot of these little taunts like "ho, ha, ho," and really seems to be up himself.
I give him a look of like, bruh, you're not impressing anyone.
Like, really? You're doing this now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bear in mind, you guys are still quite a low level, so even though these guys have just wiped out an entire group, there's still a bunch of little crap, bunch of little crap characters, you know. So the next ones, because they rolled ridiculously high and they go just before farewell, are the two cruel-looking reavers with swords. They are also going to run up to Iden, even though they've been attacked from the sides. They saw the ego and they see you as their leader. So
Iden's leader.
they think if they take you down, that's going to be it. That you're all going to go,
Sure.
oh my god, our glorious leader has gone. And
Sure.
Simon, sorry, quick question.
mhm.
Do either of them provoke an attack of opportunity for my spiritual weapon at all? I don't know if the spiritual weapon can do that, or I can burn my reaction to do that.
To my knowledge, yes, you can burn your reaction to have an attack of opportunity through anything you control. So you just want to attack one of them?
Yeah, the one that was on the left
Sure, go
as
for
he
it.
went up, which I think is the one I'm currently pinging.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Also,
Hold on, I'll have to quickly look at what my spiritual weapons bonuses, because I think he's got one. Yes, he gets a +6. So that's a 21 to hit.
Yeah, hits.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are mostly just wearing regular clothes. I mean, if they walked around doing this lot in armor, they would be they'd stick out like a sore thumb in the city. So they've been walking around with their weapons. You can see there's some bags and things nearby. They've been walking around with their weapons couched in sacks.
Cool. That's 9 points of radiant damage.
Yeah, absolutely. It's quite a significant hit to him. It strikes him in the back, and he turns around and kind of snarls at it, as if to say, "I'm getting away from that thing." But these are, I say, very violent, rough guys, and they're charging forward to Iden. So, Iden, let's attack you, shall we? And
yes. Also, I wanted to say, as soon as you told us that they view me as their leader, I'm just thinking, yes, the position of leader, which I obviously currently have. Yes.
Oh, yeah, because Aiden is our leader. Yes.
Ooh,
Yes,
yes.
yes, obviously, Aiden is leader.
Anyways, yeah.
Okay, so leader, the first one is a 21.
Yeah, that hits.
Oh, so now.
Are you kidding me? Take a total of 3 points of damage.
Sure.
That's great.
The
We
second
can live with free.
The second one comes in at a 23, and this time it's 3 points of damage. 2 ones, are you kidding me? Okay.
They just
Yep.
flick you really, really hard.
Yeah.
Are they even trying?
This wasn't supposed to be a hard encounter, but I didn't expect it to be this easy. So,
Hey, it's not over yet.
yeah, true, very true. Farewell.
Okay. So, seeing that it's Aiden, isn't it, or is it Iden?
Iden.
Iden. Seeing that Iden has been surrounded, Farewell is going to charge out to about here. I think that's within the 30 feet that he's got.
Yep.
But it doesn't look like he's really that hurt. But what he is going to do is he'll reach down to his book and he'll flick his fingers towards Iden and goes, "My word shall protect you." And he will cast Shield of the Faith.
Ooh,
Okay.
she's afraid.
So Iden's AC has now gone up by 2.
And for his bonus action, as the guy that was stood next to his spear hasn't moved yet, the spear's going to hit him.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
So the spear's going to hit the berserker, and go for it. Roll for an attack.
Okay, that's a... Why's it gone right? I always click on the wrong bit because I lost my thing. So that's 16.
16 hits.
8 points of damage.
Yep. So yeah, your spiritual weapon starts earning its keep as it's jabbed a number of the enemies so far, and it's only the first round. And as it's whittling away the damage on the berserker. Next up is Eclipse.
So I'm attacking out hiding. So I am gonna I'm gonna shoot this guy with my bow.
Okay.
With my bow.
Yep, shooting the berserker. Go for it.
Yeah. That's 16 plus 5, I think. Yeah, it's a 21.
Yes, it hits.
Cool. And then sneak attack, because I'm hiding. That's cool. Okay, 4 plus 5, 9 plus 3, 12. 12 points of sneak attack damage, which is piercing.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so
And then
the arrow goes and shoots into his side. He looks down, and his eyes just suddenly seem to double in size. He looks over in your direction, and there's this horrible sneer. His lips peel back from his teeth, and you notice that this psycho has filed his teeth into spikes. So all of his teeth are like shark's teeth.
As a bonus action, I'm gonna hide again.
Oh, sure. You disappear, and let's see if he sees you.
Should I roll my stealth?
Yep. Can you roll? And I think you probably beat him, even if you roll a 1, actually.
Yeah, that's a 20.
Yeah. You're gone. You're just gone. Yeah.
You click into the wall.
Okay.
See you, my friend.
Okay. So next up on the list is Glory. Go on, glass cannon.
God! Splash things.
Yes, splash things. That is the plan. How many enemies are still alive? All of them? All 4?
All of them. So
Yep.
you can twin a spell if you want, because I think you still have 1 sorcery point left to do that.
I do have 1 sorcery point left, and that was what I was thinking. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to really love the twinned chromatic orb with acid.
It's working really well for you.
It worked last time, so.
I'm going to say this is big mood. This is big mood for this group.
Yeah.
Just melting
Yes.
people.
Every time Glory thinks about that, the first 4 notes of Megalovania just play.
Yes. Yes, that's the theme song, Megalovania.
Like, just the 4 notes, just like the first 4 notes, nothing
Just
else.
the 4 notes. Just the 4 notes.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Okay, I fucking hate push to talk because it's not working properly for me. So let's do it this way. I want to attack that guy.
Sure.
And that guy.
Sure.
Oof.
The duelist and the berserker, go for it.
Okay. The new die is the big guy, and the guy next to Aiden is this die.
Okay.
So
meet the dice, yes. Okay.
Yes, meet the dice. Okay, so on the big guy, it's a 18. And on the guy next to Aiden is a 16.
Both hit.
Perfect. So it's 3d8, and I have 3d8s now. Thank you, dice set. So big guy first. That's an 8 plus a 7 plus a 4. So 8 plus 7 is 15, 19 damage in the big guy.
Okay.
Is he dead?
God, no.
Go on, go. Next guy. Guy next to Aiden.
Yeah, the duelist.
Yeah. Oh, that's a bad roll. He only takes 9 points of damage.
Only 9. Oh dear. Okay.
Only 9 points of acid damage.
Yeah.
They're both acid.
Okay, you watch as what seems to be Glory's feature move. 2 elegant hands gesture and 2 floating green orbs just appear, She gestures out wildly, and they fly through the air, hurtling, kind of spinning, almost sidewinder-like. One hits the berserker in the chest, and you watch as his shirt that he's got, like a jerkin that he's got on, immediately bleaches, and you hear him go "Urgh!" with the burning on his chest. The second one, the duelist, which has been hit by a few other things, gets hit by the acid. It splashes on the side, and you notice again with this kind of weird poser mentality that he's got, it splashes up his side. Some of it hits his face, and he's there kind of checking to see whether or not it's going to mess up what he apparently thinks is his good looks. The next person up is the berserker himself. So he takes a look at Farewell and goes, "Hey, God of Death, respect.
What?
How about you go meet her?" And then he charges straight up, and he's going to make 2 attacks with.
Did he go past Aiden so he gets an attack of opportunity, or did he go around?
No, he went around. So he's going to go reckless against Aiden. Sorry, not against Aiden, against Farewell. So
I do get my attack opportunity, right?
No, he hurtled round.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he kind of skipped over a load of dead bodies, but yeah, I just moved it. So the first one is a 25 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
That doesn't hit.
And
Yeah,
that
ow.
hits.
So takes 13 points of slashing damage as this great axe comes straight down across your body. And
Ow.
so that's the first attack. The second attack with advantage is a natural 20.
I'm out.
Bye-bye.
I'm out.
Bye, Farewell.
For another 17 points of damage.
Yeah, I'm out.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I just collapse.
Cora's
I am-
freaking out right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I am completely out of hit points.
No.
Are you the only healer?
I am the only.
Yeah.
Does nobody else have any heals?
No,
Okay,
I'm a glass
Get it.
cannon.
flip the table. Okay, it's not over
Okay.
yet. It's all good.
Okay. Level 3 is the most deadly level, they say. So thankfully,
What are those?
thankfully you've got yeah, I must admit I kind of didn't expect Farewell to go up to Aiden like that.
Nope.
So
I didn't think he'd run out.
Aiden, your AC has gone down by 2 now, so the Shield of Faith
Yeah.
has worn off, and it looks like we've got a bit of high drama early on in the campaign. Let's see how we go. So
It's my turn?
next up is Cora.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Right. Cora is freaking out. And she was going to attack this guy, but then the berserker ran up.
Attack the big guy.
Well, they're both bad, but yeah, she just saw what the berserker guy just did, and not very happy about it, to be honest. And now,
Did you have Hex up at the moment? I think you did.
did
Yes, you
Yeah,
have
you
that.
remember you cast it last session.
Yeah.
I? Okay, yeah, you're right. Why did it not? Oh, how many? No, I'm trying to remember how many spells I have.
2 should.
It
So
is 2.
you've
so,
got Hex
so that-
active, and Hex
Yeah.
is currently on the berserker.
on the berserker, yeah. But
Yeah.
I
That's
had
good.
listed I had 2 spells, but I only have 1 then.
You only have one
Okay.
left, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then right, if I have Hex and last time with the Eldritch sorry.
just blast.
Sorry. She's panicking. Right. Eldritch. You know what?
Fair.
Or take. Oh no! If he makes a good throw, she is gonna try Eldritch Blast again. That she sort of missed on last time because of the cat.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
he's now still hexed, and she's gonna grab her crystal bracelet and
Yeah, go for it.
shoot Eldritch Blast at him. Okay, so down. Right,
You have
just
advantage,
hit.
don't forget, because he went reckless.
Oh yes,
That's
I have
right.
advantage on me now. Right.
In fact, everyone has advantage on this guy now that he has used his one trick. I didn't realize how potent a trick it was going to be, but this one trick pony apparently is a nightmare. So, yeah.
That's good
Yeah.
because one of my throws was a natural one, but I
Oh,
rerolled it, got a
God.
4. Right, so I got 13 plus. It's plus the spell attack, isn't it? Which
Yep.
is
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
18.
18.
hit.
Yep, that hits. Roll for damage.
Excellent. So
Should
it's
be 1d10 plus 1d6.
Seven. Doesn't feel like enough to take into.
Yep, so it the blast hits him in the chest. He turns around and goes, "Oh, have I hit a nerve?" And he starts looking at you, Cora, as his next target.
I'm okay with that. I don't want to pull him away from Farewell.
Yeah, you don't want
This
him.
is
You don't want him going for a coup de grace. Okay,
this is
so
very stressful.
Does it look like rough at all, or how does it look like we've done any damage to him? Or is
well, he's got an arrow stuck out of his side. He's got acid dribbling down his chest, and he's got a black eye where an eldritch blast just hit him in the face. But he's
God.
looking like he's enjoying it.
Just so
Yeah.
you know, I'm going to move. I think when she saw that happen to Farewell, she would have gotten out of the cover and just come out and gone.
Sure. Okay. Aiden.
Yeah.
Time to shine.
Hello.
Stop.
I move over to him, over here, and
Okay.
I attack.
Hang on. Three attacks of opportunity. So,
Okay, go ahead.
So the first one is an 11 to hit. It misses.
Doesn't hit. Yeah.
Second is a 6 to hit. It misses. And the third is an 11 to hit. You're the tank. Carry on.
All right. Which is funny because I barely have any strength, or constitution. I go up to him.
Constitution, that's fair.
I guess, but I go up to him with my rapier. Do I get advantage because of the
Yes.
reckless?
Yes.
All right.
Everybody gets advantage currently.
All right. And I tell him, "Hey, motherfucker, your beef is with me." All right, that's not bad. That's gonna be 18 to hit.
Yeah, I mean this guy's wearing a slowly dissolving jerkin. It hits.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's gonna be that's gonna be 8 points of piercing damage plus 2 cold damage.
Yep.
Oh yeah, because you're using your thing.
So
Yeah.
you watch as Aiden lashes forward, and you know this guy has to say he's enjoying himself. But you've fought large creatures before, Aiden. I mean, you know, in your backstory, you remember there's a type of zombie that necromancers can enhance, and it makes them large, like this, you know, this beefy guy in front of you. And you're there, kind of, you know, as you look at him, you're there, kind of targeting certain sites that you know is going to be useful to hobble him, and you lash out, and that's a fair amount of damage. He's looking a little bit worried, but he thinks he's going to survive long enough to be able to plant his axe in you.
Yeah. By the way, I use my as I attack him with my rapier. I'm gonna use my bonus action to use Blood Curse of the Binding, and I'm gonna
Okay, try.
amplify it. So I'm gonna take a bit more damage. That's just one. But yeah, he has to make a strength saving throw.
A strength saving throw, no problem.
Of
Let's
12.
let's do that. So his strength saving throw Yeah, he shrugs it off. In fact, he laughs at it. He's kind of like, magic. You can't replace this with magic.
Stab.
Okay, is that everything, Ide?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so the duelist is going to turn around to Cora, and he looks back at the berserker and says, "It's all right, Lork, I'll get her," and moves up and is going to try to take 2 attacks at you. So, Cora, the first one is a 16 to hit.
Yeah.
Take 8 points of slashing damage.
Ow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that TPK we joked about earlier, that's not looking too far off the mark.
Yeah.
How many
I
points?
still
6.
got you,
How many
Trick.
points?
It was 8 points of slashing damage.
8. Oh.
Okay. The second one goes wide, as when he hits you, Cora, he's almost surprised that he has hit you. He kind of sees that he's scored a cut on you and kind of looks and kind of goes really happy, like he's just kind of like, I did it, I hit someone. And then he lashes back, and then you're kind of, because he's trying to do it so triumphantly and with such flourish, it gives you a lot of time to dodge. You know, he kind of almost holds it there in a heroic pose for a second, showing you which angle the blade is going to come down on.
Dude, what are you doing?
What's an amateur?
The Reavers, however, they're locked onto Aiden, and they want to stay with the really large, the really large barbarian, berserker, as they don't know what's going over on the other side, but they really don't want to be anywhere near it. And also, one of them being hit by the acid is like, nope, don't want to be anywhere near that. They run up to Aiden, and the first one swings for a 13 and misses. The second one swings for a 17, and I presume misses.
17 hits.
Yeah, hits. Okay. So you manage to parry the first one, but the second one comes down and bites in deep. These are nasty, rusty swords. They're almost as sharp from the rust as they are from the edge of the blade. And
Please tell me there's no fantasy tetanus.
Fantasy tetanus.
Roll Constitution. No, never mind. And take 10 points of slashing damage as...
oh, shit.
as he manages to get a decent strike over the back of your coat.
Ouch!
I will remind all players that you also have magical items. Eclipse's one is useless here, but some of the rest of you might need to use some of their effects.
Yeah. Mine is also kind of useless if I remember correctly.
I would love to use mine right now, but unfortunately, I'm a bit occupied.
You can't really use magical items while you're unconscious.
Technically, you can preemptive wound closure, but speaking of that, Nick, can you please roll a death saving throw for fail?
All right, fingers crossed. That's a 10.
That's a save.
That is a save. On the nose, that is a save.
Yeah.
Okay, please note down that you have one passed saving throw. If you pass 3, you stabilize. Okay, right. Eclipse, what are you doing?
I am gonna shoot the big guy. That's it.
Go for it. You still have advantage.
Yeah. I have advantage anyway, but yeah.
Light that motherfucker up.
Yeah. That's almost 20. It's 18 plus 5.
Hits.
I also rolled a 1, so I'm happy I got advantage. Okay.
I still can't believe it.
So, good start. So my first 2 dice is a 5 and a 6, so that's 11, and then last 3, so that's 14 plus 3. That's 17 points of damage.
You watch as the berserker, seeing this one of his cohorts slashing the back of Aiden, and he's raising his axe, getting ready to plow this axe into Aiden's collarbone. He throws back his head with a glee, a horrible bloodlust and glee, and he's there saying, never had this much fun before! And as he does that, an arrow goes straight into the roof of his mouth and out the back of his head.
Ow.
Ow!
Ouch.
I said, may the gods.
He is an ex-parrot. So.
Okay, I'm gonna go back here and hide again.
Sure.
Just lying on the floor bleeding here.
Next up
Thank you,
is...
That's a 16, so I got a 16 on my stealth check, for anyone who's looking.
Yeah, no one's seeing you right now. The next up is Glory. Go forth and murderize.
Yeah.
What's your second spell slot?
Go
Second
ham.
spell slot you got?
Well,
Okay.
you see, this guy is... Oh, wait. Wrong thingy. There. This guy is a little bit too close to comfort. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna cast 3 rays of Scorching Ray on him.
Well, shoot as many, like, one at a time, and see if he dies, like, shoot at someone else.
True. Can I do that, Simon? Or
You
do I have to shoot them at the same time?
You absolutely can. It's kind of like a flamethrower. You can kind of wave it around.
Yeah. Normal, no advantage on him, I guess.
No.
No. Okay, giddy. Let's see here. That's a 14 plus 5. I'm gonna assume that 19 is a hit.
Yes, that hits.
Maybe, probably.
56.
2d6 fire damage.
That's pretty good damage.
Yeah, that's a 3 and a 4, so 7.
Exactly how many hit points he had left. You watch
Bye.
as the first ray of fire coming out from Glory's very casually outstretched hand, like she's going out for a stroll, and pointing out all the sights. She just raises her hand, and just this ray of twisting maelstrom fire leaps from her fingertips, engulfs him, and he screams and ends up becoming a twitching, burning corpse right in front of you, Cora. Thankfully, you know a good few therapists here in Ostergard.
We're gonna need that of, like, Glory's, like...
I think I'm all right with it. I wanted that guy out of the way. He was standing between me and farewell.
Yeah. Okay. Well then, I guess this guy is next.
Yep, go for it.
That's a 15 plus 5, 20. That's a hit.
That's a hit.
Yeah.
And this is the one that you hit with acid before, so you got a good chance
No.
of scoring the
Oh.
double.
A 5 and a 3, so 8 damage.
8 points of
Oof.
damage. Yeah, you watch as he starts twisting round in the fire, kind of, but he's not dead. He wishes he was, though.
I am not amused that he's still alive, so I shoot another one at him.
Okay, go for it.
Fuck.
18
It's
plus 5,
free race.
so 23.
Yep, that hits.
And that's a 6 and a 3, so 9 damage.
Yep, you finish him off, and once again, you add to your collection of twitching, burning corpses.
That is an impressive kill count you are knocking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have any dice left?
It's
Like-
one of those, we've got one up, but it's like those Call of Duty kill videos you ever see.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just Glory standing at the back, just nuking everybody to death.
You know, it's just sniping back with spells.
fucking camper.
Oh dear, so true. So, Cora, there's only one threat left, and he's engaged with Aiden. What are you going to do?
Thank the stars that she's on my team and not against me.
Yeah.
I just realised that one of my spells is a reaction spell. I haven't figured out how to use that.
Is it
So-
counterspell or Hellish Rebuke?
It's the Hellish Rebuke one.
It's when
Oh,
someone attacks you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
have it too as a racial, so
I wish.
It's all
So-
good. Kill him.
Well,
You can run to. You can run to.
what I
Farewell
would
and
like
try
to do is run to here, and I just want to check with you, Simon. Would I expect this is an action to pull out a healing a healing pack? What is it called? It's
Healer's Kit.
yes,
Medicine Kit, something.
the healer's kit that Farewell has,
Mm.
and use it to stabilize him.
Yes, you can. So you don't have proficiency in a healer's kit, okay?
Right.
But thematically, that's what you would be doing. Is you know where his medical supplies are. I would like
Yeah.
you to do because this is a dramatic moment for Nick. He's nodding approval there. I would like you to do. I would like you to do something, and I'm kind of just ad-libbing this. I would
I
like
feel I might have watched him do it. I don't think I'd be proficient, but I feel I might have seen him do stuff.
Exactly. I would like you to do a intelligence check, and I will give you proficiency for the intelligence check. Okay, because this is your knowledge. It's not general knowledge, and it isn't research knowledge. This is your
Intelligence is great.
knowledge. This is how
Put your
well
hands
you're
up to
keeping
give Cora
yourself
your
together.
energy.
So I'm rolling what, a d20, yeah?
You're on a d20, add your intelligence modifier and your proficiency, which is +2.
Okay.
Big rolls, big rolls, big rolls.
Come on.
11.
11. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
I don't have much intelligence.
High-ish.
Okay.
Big-ish.
I'm not going to allow you to know what you're about to get in terms of your roll. I will let you roll the d20, but I'm going to be applying the modifiers. Okay? So
Yeah.
just
So just roll a d20 and
Just-
tell you what it is.
exactly that.
16.
16. Okay. Farewell.
Yes.
The huge amount of slashes over your chest, you know the best way to stabilize you in this case is to look for any of the large blood vessels and to apply pressure. In your semi-unconscious state, I mean, you can't really communicate. You can feel pain, and that's about it. You feel quite a bit of pain as some dick, after you've been slashed and been hit to the floor, some dick is poking you with a stick. Okay? Okay? That's how Farewell sees it. What Cora sees is that she goes, that's too much blood coming out, and she rams her thumb into into the wound, and is actually she passed with flying colours, but it is painful as fuck. Okay. And Cora, you do get this slight murmur from Farewell where with this thin thready voice he goes, stop it, and then goes back unconscious again.
Is he stabilized?
He is stabilized. However, Cora, because you are not a healer, you are holding on to his life with your bare hands. He will go back.
Literally.
Yeah, he will go back into death saving throws if you do anything other than sustain this action. Okay, so your part right now is keeping Farewell
Bye,
from
Nick.
bleeding out. Okay.
Yep. I figured there's one person left, and everyone seems to be setting on fire around me. So I think I'm better off doing this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And
Yeah.
not only that, but just so that we've got the visuals on this correctly, Farewell doesn't have any blood. You are the literal boy putting his finger in the dike because he bleeds water.
Right.
Farewell's an elemental, so it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
pissing water everywhere.
You're just stopping. So what you're in fact doing is you're not so much stopping someone from bleeding, you're stopping a water balloon from drying out.
Yeah, he's a popped paddling pool.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yes.
This is my beautiful green boy we're all talking about here.
Yeah,
thank
your
you.
beautiful green boy pissing water everywhere.
And I did it before, but I'll do it again. When you went down before, just for Leanne, hi Leanne, just for Leanne's benefit, I switched to your character portrait, Nick. It's kind of like, yeah, this commission, this piece of work that took Leanne ages, yeah, he nearly killed him today. So
Yeah.
We need to stick that nice picture into Roll20, don't we?
Yeah.
yes, I'm going to change the avatars. Unfortunately, I've been dealing with other technical issues, which thankfully we've got most of those done now. So, wow, streaming, who would have thought?
Yeah, it's so easy.
Yeah, you
Just to
just
check-
switch the programs on, right? So,
Just to check, Simon, my HP stays at 0, yes?
Yes,
Not
it
at
does.
1.
yeah,
Yeah, cool.
yeah. So it's basically, I think, a few minutes. I think it's like 10 minutes, and then you wake up. Yeah. If you are stabilized, and you're kept stabilized for that long. So that was Cora's turn. Aiden, you've got the guy who I've marked a little bit of green in front of there, who slashed you across the back. Interesting. Actually, let's do this just for flavor. Everybody other than Aiden, make a perception check. Oh, Farewell, you don't make one, obviously.
Everyone other than him.
Everyone other than Aiden and Farewell, so Eclipse, Glory, Cora, all make a perception check.
Okay. That's terrible.
That's an
7.
18.
Okay,
I'm rather
you're good.
distracted right now, so 5.
7 for me. So I'm just like, ooh, pretty butterfly.
Okay, what was yours, Glory?
18.
18, yeah, you see it. So this guy slashed across the back of Aiden's coat, yeah?
Yeah?
And by the looks of the blood that came off the blade, he struck true and did 10 hit points worth of damage. Aiden hasn't healed back up, but the coat has.
Ooh.
Oh. Oh. Huh.
The coat is perfect. No
Which is
cuts
funny
in it
because-
whatsoever.
Like,
Aiden's coat is
Perfect
kind of
fashion.
like a hobo coat.
Okay.
like perfect self-healing hobo fashion.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
He's a fucking hipster.
Yep. You have to keep the fashion, darling. So that's so it's Aiden. It's your turn. You've got the guy who slashed your coat. Go.
All right, I turn around. I look at him. This is gonna sound a bit weird, but like, is the guy like? Because like, after the entire everything that has happened, does he look like a bit hesitant, or does he look afraid?
Yes, he looks like he wants to bolt.
All right, I tell him, look, buddy. Like 2 of your friends are like toasted to fucking hell. You don't even want to talk about that, like about your boss. Cut your losses, man. Just no.
Okay. He's. I'm going to. Well, it's him who's next. He's going to attempt to run away, but he hasn't dropped the weapon. He's just going to attempt to flee.
All right.
Okay. Is anyone? Are you going to do an attack of opportunity as he leaves?
Nah, I'm just gonna hold my action in case he tries any bullshit, but I'm not gonna
Okay.
attack him.
I'm not
I would want to say something if he's about to run, but I need to wait for my initiative, right?
well, no, you can say things as part of the narrative. Otherwise, that would be
I
silly.
can't-
You have to wait.
Then
Simon.
after he says that, I say, "Don't let him go." I'm like, "Don't let him go. He'll tell others. We can't let them live."
Okay.
Simon, if he runs past me, I'm gonna try to stab him in the back. Essentially, if he runs this way past
Okay.
me.
Right. So first off, because it's kind of this was done in Aiden's initiative, with Cora saying that as the guy turns, Cora effectively says, "Kill him." Are you going to use your attack of opportunity, Aiden?
Is he gonna attack me?
No, he's running.
Aiden literally sighs, and yeah, I'm gonna attack him.
Sure, go for it.
Fine.
Shit, I almost dropped that. That's 12, I think. Yeah.
12. No. He manages to clear you just in time. So the next person that he is going to be going up to, effectively, how am I going to do this? Cora can't do anything. Aiden has done something. Farewell can't do anything. So it's between Glory and Eclipse. Even though Eclipse is higher in the initiative, I'm going to say that Glory has the first chance to hit him, because as he's moving away, unless Eclipse is going to use her bow, if Eclipse uses her bow, she goes first. If she uses her knife, Glory gets to fire something off first.
I don't mind, Flitty, you can go first.
Okay. Glory, you see the guy running away. This is the guy who, as I say, provided that very interesting example of what happens with the coat. But yeah, he's running away, and you were told to kill them all.
Yeah, I was told to kill them all. So let's see here. What do I have that's fun? Well, I can't fire another chromatic orb. So let's do that.
Acid on them all.
Oh yeah, acid on them all. Give me something good now, dice. 16 total.
Yep, that hits.
3d8 damage in him.
Probably dead. If not, he'll be.
2 8s and a 6.
Oh wow.
That's
Yep.
16 plus 6.
It's 22.
That's 22.
Yep. That is just the amount of hit points he was on.
Whew.
He gets about... Oh, the spiritual weapon's gone, but I'm not going to get rid of it. Oh, I'm still up.
Actually, it's not concentration, so it's still up.
It's still up.
It
It's just
lasts
as...
a minute.
That's correct. It's up. It's not doing anything. He gets about that far when the chromatic orb hits him on the back of the neck, and it splashes all around his head and his face, and he breathes in, just out of response, just from the thing hitting it. And as he does so, he breathes in part of the chromatic orb. He thrusts around. As I say, some of you are gonna need therapy after Glory, but he thrashes around on the floor, and after a few breathtaking seconds, that's it. He's gone.
I sigh and just go, well, I tried.
Yeah.
We couldn't let them leave. One, we were told to kill them all, but and bad news, if they give a description of us, we're fucked. So
True.
plus,
Sure.
can somebody
I go check on the farmer.
The farmer. I walk up to the farmer as well.
So as you walk up to the farmer, he's just there. He's like, he sees you approach him, and there's a look of fear for like a split second. And
I go up to him.
Okay.
Bit of blood because I'm at 2 hit points, and I go, are you okay?
as I say, he looks fearful to start with, but then he sees the token on your belt and goes, "Oh, you're one of us. Gods be praised." You do then
Yeah, I guess. Are you okay?
Yeah, I guess.
shows the level of faith that Aiden's got. But he goes, "No, I'm fine. Well, a little shaken up, but otherwise fine." But and then you hear this as around the corner, decked out in beautiful armor that seems to be battle scarred and scratched, and it's got burn marks on it, and there's some blood definitely coming out, is a blue-skinned female dragonborn with the biggest sword you've ever seen in your life. She's charging straight towards you, and she's there going, "Vengeance, death and vengeance!" And she raises the sword high, and it's actually the farmer that dashes out, because you guys are just completely taken by surprise. I mean, Cora's still there, holding, putting her finger in one of Farewell's blood vessels, and everybody else is taken back by this sudden, huge, dramatic entrance of this huge, pristine figure. Well, I say pristine, scarred up to hell. But you can see that there's money dripping off this girl. And as she charges up, you guys don't get a chance to act. The farmer steps forward, and he's there like, "No, Hecrus! And she's like, "Let me out!" And she goes, "Hecrus, they killed them!" And points at the guys that you've freshly killed.
Yeah.
Good guys, promise.
The Dragonborn.
Is she hot? That is the question. Like, Glory's already checking her out.
I would remind you all that technically I am still dying here.
I feel like
There's a hot lady.
I just not to metagame too much, but I am still dying.
I will go and try to help Farewell with my
Okay.
zero medical knowledge.
You don't get the chance to, because this all happens within a single round. I mean, as a surprise round, effectively.
Yeah.
So Hecrus stops for a second, but she's still got the sword high. She goes, "Explain, make it quick." And he says that they came, they killed the other dogs, but these guys came in. They just turned up as if out of nowhere, and they just killed them all. I mean, that lad over there, he gave his life to make sure that they were avenged. And she's like, "Shit!" Drops the greatsword, and this greatsword, you're there thinking, that's easily magical. That's probably a couple of 1,000 gold pieces easily. She drops it to the floor, dashes straight up, grabs something from her belt, pushes Cora out the way, spurt. And I'm sorry, Cora, I'm not even going to get you to roll, Cora. She pushes you out the way easily. She's this gigantic barbarian, and you watch as she uncorks a superior healing potion and pours it down Farewell's neck. Okay, so Farewell, I rolled it earlier. You are now on 24 hit points. Okay. She's just poured a small fortune's worth of healing down your gullet.
Yep.
Ah, you fucking bastards!
Okay, yeah, he's fine.
Who told you to stick your finger in your chest?
Bleeding everywhere. You would gush water.
And he's just gonna lean over, and he's just gonna give Cora the biggest hug in the world, as he's just got nothing left in his system. He's just
Don't do that.
I'm sorry.
Why did you run right in?
I thought he was gonna die. I didn't think it would be me.
It might.
Yeah.
That really hurts.
You were dead. I mean, you're basically dead, and that hurt. I mean, he hit you with an axe.
I didn't really feel that one. I was out cold.
Farewell.
I mean,
Next time, teach me how to do it. Then
that's fine. At least your bedside manner's pretty good.
kind of. She gives him a tiny slap on the cheek.
You notice that Farewell's wounds, when that magic was poured through his gullet, you watched that there was a glow that went through his body, and the wound closed up almost like it happened backwards. You guys haven't seen healing of this magnitude before. I mean, that was literally coming back from death by drinking something out of a bottle. And I know that in D&D we know that healing potions exist, and you guys have seen healing potions before. You've seen people go from looking beaten and bruised and things like that to looking better. You just watched a wound that, if it was any worse, would have cut Farewell in two, sew itself up like somebody just put a zip on it and zipped it back up again.
Okay. I'm going to imagine that I will then sort of notice the dragon, and like whilst I'm still holding Cora quite sort of near to me, I'll be like, "Who's the blue thing?"
You're asking what the blue thing is.
I've had a very traumatic day.
Okay, I don't
Farewell,
know.
you okay, buddy?
She looked like she was about to kill us, but then she gave you that.
How many
Thank
friends
you,
do you
by
see?
the way.
Farewell will just look at her and go, "Thank you. I needed that."
Hecris has already turned round and started walking away. She's not one for small talk, and she didn't watch any of this scene. After she poured the bottle down your throat, she dropped it and walked off. It was kind of like mic drop, but with a healing potion bottle. She's walked back to her sword, picked it up, and turned to the farmer, and she goes, "Malcolm, what went on here?" And he said, I have no idea. I mean, the Razor Boys turned up. They talked about your argument in the tavern. They said that they were out for an apology, and they started harassing people. They started trashing stuff, and then the Cobble Dogs came along, told them to sling the hook, because there was a runner that was sent off when the Razor Boys arrived. They turned up, and the big one, name begins with an L, I don't quite remember it. He turned around, he said, "We're here for an apology," and he just charged at him. And he just swung that axe. My God, I've never seen anything like it. Well, I have. I mean, I've seen you, obviously, Hecris. But I've never seen it from just like a common folk like that. He swung that axe just, well, you saw what he did to Mr. Him over there. And the first one he went out to, he lopped off the bleeding head. And after that, two of the others lost their nerve. Well, I'm sorry and Hecris at that point glares at him. Absolutely glares at him, and she goes, "They didn't lose their nerve. They would have pretended to run away, and they would have flanked him. All right?" He said,
Sure.
Yes, Hecris, that's what they were doing. I don't want to be hearing any of those lies. Yeah? They're trained. They know what they're doing. I don't want any of those lies. But okay, they went to back off and flank, and he took another one down just straight away, just right in the back. And the other one, he decided to take a wider angle to flank, I guess. And then the others, they came in, and they were slashing like wildmen. They were. It wasn't like ordered. They were just three guys with swords, and they all went like that one there, the Ponce. He went up, and he was like leading the other two, and they were going 3-on-1. It was over quickly. The dog managed to get a decent bite on one of them, but yeah, that was the next one that the big fella took down. I'm sorry, Hecris. I know that you're fond of them. She's like, fond doesn't cover it. One day you'll know the compatriotism that I knew. Who are you lot?
I'm going to just ignore her, and I'm going to pull himself up onto his feet. and we'll walk over to Iden, because I imagine he spotted just that he looks probably as bad as Farewell does, or at least, and we'll just go, look, I probably owe you 4 gold for this. And he's going to put his hand on his shoulder, and I'm going to cast Cure Wounds at level 1.
Sure.
At this point, Glory would like to walk over to the pretty dragonborn lady and like, hello.
Okay.
That's 12. That's 12 points of healing.
Thank you. That's really appreciated. As soon as you do that, I see Glory coming up. He's like, Farewell, I think we should probably like.
Yeah. I have not got the countenance for this. And I'll shuffle off.
Sure. So, Glory, Hecris is not what you would call stereotypically beautiful. There are lots of words that we can use to describe Hecris. Angry, murderous, rage-filled, physical is probably up there as well. And I would say one of the things that probably comes up at the top of the list is scarred. She is covered in scars. The scales that cover her body, many of them are missing, okay, as in being cleaved out in large amounts, and the way they grew back was kind of weird, but there's bits missing. There's the pattern on her body. The scales are missing at regular intervals. Okay, these overlapping light blue, almost aquamarine scales. And she's wearing armor that, from this distance now that you've walked up to her, looks to be mithril. Okay, so mithril is an insanely light armor, but has all the resistant properties of steel. And it means that she can stalk through the city very quietly. You have noticed that when she walks around, there's the thump, thump, thump of her feet, but there's no clanging from her armor. Okay, and again, you're close enough to see this. The reason is that every plate is felted underneath, so that when the plates hit each other, the felt muffles the any noise that there would be. This is a piece of master-crafted mithril armor. It's full plate. Okay, so she's a full plate barbarian, which
that's expensive.
Yeah. Between the sword and the armor, Hecris is probably wearing somewhere in the region of 8,000 to 9,000 gold pieces worth of kit.
I am super impressed by her armor and her kit, going like, oh, those are some pretty shinies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So she
pretty shiny.
She may not be stereotypically beautiful, but she looks like a goddamn god of war, and she's wearing a small fortune of treasures. Because of your background, Glory, you immediately can appraise this because you know good metals, you know good design, and you're there like, oh my god. Hecris finishes talking to the farmer and walks over to her fallen comrades, picking up some of the ones that you guys killed, some of the attackers, and flinging them to the side like they're rag dolls. And she starts going through their belongings. And
they're ours. I don't say that, by the way.
You just did. She just threw a hand axe at you.
No, I didn't say that. That was me saying it, not Eclipse.
Be careful.
Be careful.
No, that was not in character. I have a voice for Eclipse.
Okay, but be careful. Yeah, she would have.
Simon will punish you.
She would have gone into a rage over that. She's taking items off the bodies of her fallen comrades, and she takes off her pack. She's got like a small, like an explorer's pack on her back. She opens up the pack, turfs out everything that's inside. Some of the items look quite valuable, but she just doesn't care, and she's putting the items into the bag. She's taking things out of pouches, she's taking things out of pockets, and the other thing that she does do as well is that she takes the green symbol off each of them and puts that in the bag too. She now has all their weapons. Okay.
Can we
And
help?
um,
I'm gonna say that.
she turns around and goes,
Let me send them off.
"You have already helped, but you are of the organization now. I didn't expect you to gain those symbols so soon."
Well,
But-
neither did
Yeah, me
we.
neither.
We kind of would thrown them, or did they just appear? Like, we just got them when we were sent here. Olivia just ran off and sent us here, and we're here.
They're temporary. A test, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, we got them just. No, my dear, we are now officially members because we did we did the exam or the test, and now we have the green symbols. But we came here to help because Olivia asked us to help here with the attack.
so
Yeah.
they're conjured symbols. I don't know what you're on about with a test. I never had to take no test. But the symbols were given to you by Olivia. That's all I need to know. Only a fool would wear a symbol that a green symbol that's fake. That's a death sentence in this city. Come and help me.
Simon,
help
I will already have been pulling at least the enemies, because I would notice that she's a bit touchy about people touching probably what I guess is her friends, into ordered rows, and I'll turn to Aiden and go, could you find us a cart or something so we can get rid of these bodies?
Oh, yeah,
I want to
sure.
loot.
Cart. Yeah, totally.
I want to loot the enemy's bodies, not her comrades' bodies, but the enemy's bodies.
As this is happening, because a few of you guys have said stuff. As Farewell says that to Aiden, Hecris turns around and says, "Screw those guys. I want the cart for my guys first. You can do whatever you want with those later on." And as she watches the Tabaxi going in to loot them, she's there going, "You did the kill. Anything you find on them is yours."
Thank you.
Technically,
God.
No.
I mean,
Oh, no.
at least
Sorry.
give me a cut of it if you find something
TPK.
good.
Oh, Glory, I'm not taking this for myself, dear. This is for the group.
Yeah, that's fine then. Glory kind of pokes at one of them with her foot, like, nah, I'm not getting down in it.
So yes, everyone loot the bodies. What do I find? Like 2
Okay.
coppers.
Aiden, what were you saying? I will get to the
I was
looting
gonna
in a second.
say, should I roll something to see where or how? Like, can I roll something for my card finding skills?
Cart finding skills.
You're looking for a cart in a farm. You find a cart.
All right.
Okay.
I guess
So,
this will do.
Yes, Eclipse. You pull together all the stuff, and between trinkets, coin, and the weapons, which really you don't want any of these weapons. Mostly they're rusted. Out of all of that lot, you find that you have 4 gold pieces, 28
Yay.
silver pieces, and 11 copper pieces worth of stuff. Okay.
Okay.
So you've got all that. That's no problem, and I will put that in the Discord for you guys in a sec.
Thank you.
That's very good.
Oh my God.
Okay. So that's what you find. However, there is one thing that does stand out. Okay, and that is a strange-looking dagger that was at the hip of the duelist. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll show you a quick picture of the dagger. Won't take a second.
The rogue goes boy yo 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 yo.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Ooh.
Dagger.
I'm so used to playing
Ooh,
rogue.
that's
that
pretty.
when
I want that. That's my.
Okay. So that's the dagger. It's a bit big
You
on
don't use
the.
daggers, dear.
No, but still.
I'll just show the Twitch feed as well. So this dagger is a strange kind of dueling dagger, and you recognize it straight away, Eclipse as a main gauche. Okay,
Main
so
gauche.
a main gauche is a duelist dagger that is held in the offhand, and it can be used either for parrying or it can be used to make a strike as a regular dagger. Okay,
Ooh, cool.
so yeah.
I'll pocket that.
It seems to be brighter and shinier than the other things, so it may be worth taking to a merchant to find out exactly how much it's worth. Because
can I appraise it?
If you would like to, that's
Yeah,
something you
I
can
show
take
it to
across.
Glory. How much is this worth?
What do I roll
Simon,
for that?
whilst this is going on, I would have helped load her party onto it, and then I want to set up my censer near their body and fill it with incense and just light the incense to just get it going before I start the prayers for the dead.
As you start the prayers for the dead, Farewell, you notice that Hecris chants them exactly the same beside you. She knows them word for word. The pronunciations are perfect. Okay, she word for word, and you have seen this Dragonborn before. Now that you've had a bit of time to get over the shock of nearly dying, yes, this figure you have seen before, but every time you've seen her in the Raven Queen's temple, she's been wearing rough spun clothing, and she has been wearing a black hood over her head, which you know is a mourning hood. Okay. You've only seen her periodically, just every so often, every few months or so. Certainly not a regular visitor. But now that you're standing next to her and she starts to tone out the rites, you're there going, yeah, I know you. Well, I've seen you around. And she completes the rites perfectly with you. Glory.
Yes. What do I roll to appraise the dagger?
So, first of all, you get a lot of free information. The second that you touch the dagger, you realize that it's enchanted. The enchantment.
Because I'm holding it as well because I'm showing it to her. So did I also catch that it was enchanted, or
no? The second that you touch it, Glory, you realize that it's enchanted. From what you can tell, a low-level enchantment, it only kind of very slightly vibrates under your fingertips when you apply just a small amount of your own power to it. But it has some sort of effect. Could be worth something.
Yeah, that could be worth.
Now, depending on the enchantment, I mean, if it's just something that glows, if it's just a dagger with a light cantrip attached to it, which a lot of humans need because they can't see very well in the dark, it won't be as much. The styling and things like that, I mean, it's worth around about 20 gold pieces just as a dagger, but just from it being well made, the filigree is good, it's very well designed, it's nicely balanced. You think with the enchantment on top, could easily go for 200 gold pieces, depending on the enchantment. If the enchantment's particularly good and very relevant for somebody who wields a dagger, could go much higher.
So are we ever going to want for gold again when we work for Nabdas?
Arcana for figuring out the enchantment?
Yep, if you want to go for that, roll.
That's 11 plus 3, so 14.
Yeah, you're fairly certain that it is a natural effect. Okay. So it has something to do with feeding back into the person's arm. Okay, so somehow when you're wielding this, there's just an instinctive thing that it does. It makes your arm move in some way. You can't get much better than that. You just know that it does something like that. It takes control of the user's arm for a short period of time.
I relay this information to Eclipse.
Do you mind if I try it for a bit? Thank you. So it was called. What was it called, Simon?
A main gauche, literally meaning the left hand.
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
M-A-I-N-E.
M-A-I-N-E.
N-E. And then gauche is G-A-U-C-H-E.
G-A-U-C-H-E.
That's it. Yes.
Is this Welsh?
No, it's French.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Give me a sec.
That does sounds French.
Okay. So yes, you've got some sort of enchanted main gauche there. So
that's in my offhand, so it's my left hand, essentially.
Yeah. Okay. So you loot the things from the bodies, and Farewell completes the last rites on those in the cart. Once Hecris finishes the chanting with you, Farewell, she turns around and offers her hand, as in to shake your hand, and says, "I should not have been as rude in the presence of one of the blessed. I apologize."
Grief takes us all in strange ways.
It wasn't grief, it was rage.
That's still a form of grief.
Farewell will just gently nod, and we'll go, without saying anything more, we'll just go and collect everybody else and move them towards the cart.
There's a moment of pondering as Hecris goes, "I know you lot. You have been mentioned. You're going to be knowing the hawk and harness a lot better soon. When you get a chance, meet me there, and we'll drink to the dead. Until then, I will take this cart to the Raven Queen's temple, and I'll have them interred."
One moment. And I'm going to start loading up the other dead bodies.
She only allows you to kind of stuff the other dead bodies piled on top of each other on the end of the cart, not touching her compatriots at all.
That's fine. I'm going to reach into my pack and I'm going to take out where's it gone? Yeah, my spare blanket. As for some reason I have 2 blankets in my inventory. I'm not quite sure why.
Sure.
And I'm going to, in effect, just use that as a little bit of a barrier to just sort of keep these at the end of the cart. And Farewell will look at her and just go, "Remember, we are all equals when dead."
They certainly all look the same after I put them there. Thank you again, Blessed. She, bear in mind, this cart is meant for horses. She grabs hold of the yoke, grunts, and the cart starts moving.
Simon,
Okay.
I'm gonna, as she starts to, well, just if she's about to leave, I'd like to run up to her and just kind of stop her for a second, and be like, "Sorry, Hecris, where did you get that bottle? Where can we get more?" Oh, and I lost my accent completely. I didn't even attempt the accent that time. Pathetic. By episode 25, I might.
Exactly, that's what I'm aiming for.
She looks down at you and because she saw you basically with your thumb inside a blessed, as she refers to him. There's a kind of sudden, not so much a smile, but a kind of sniff and a nod of the head. Very much kind of a bro nod of approval to you, and goes, You won't want for any of those ever again, little one. You're in the right organization now." And she puts her shoulders forward, and the cart starts going at a decent pace.
Jesus.
Down
I
the
jump
street.
out the way of the wheel.
Yeah. Glory just whistles a little, like, damn.
No reaction. No reaction to her, but she does call back just as she's about to round the corner. She does call back and says, "Don't forget the hawk and harness." And she takes the cart round the corner.
Yeah, I could use a drink. Let's go.
Yeah, I could use a drink as well.
Sounds
We
good.
need to report back to Mistress Storm.
I have a feeling they'll find us. And
Yeah.
they'll probably find us at the Hawk and Harness. That's
More than likely, yeah.
it's their pub.
Were we told to meet Olivia anywhere, or should we just go?
We
Yeah,
weren't told anything.
Yep, you were told
Yeah.
nothing. You were told
Okay.
for the first mission, you were told that once you finish the mission to go home and they will contact you. And to not contact them, because that could be embarrassing if they thought you were idiots. And then once she shot off after the other guy on the horse, she said, "Go and murder them." Basically, go kill any of the Razor Boys that you find. But she didn't say anything about afterwards. You're just there.
Okay.
You're there in the street. You can go wherever you like now. Okay. I am now.
Okay.
Well,
let's
as far as
go
I'm
to the-
concerned, we're off duty.
Let's go.
I want a fucking drink.
As you wish.
Yeah, that was.
Let's
Well,
go get
I don't know
drunk.
what we were expecting, but it didn't seem.
Well,
I'm
this
gonna
has
grab
been
Fair. I'm just
really
gonna put my
fun.
arm around Farewell and just be like, "Come on!" Like, yeah.
First round's
tired.
on me for scaring the shit out of you. Come on.
Woo!
that include
Almost
all
made
of
me
us?
regret pulling you into this.
I have a feeling that I wouldn't have had a choice anyway.
Just so you guys know, Gloria has a slight skip in her step now, as if having killed a lot of guys today has made her happy.
Of course it
Do you
did.
think that one needs a brothel?
I think that one isn't allowed in brothels anymore.
Yeah, maybe.
I just, yeah.
Yeah.
That is a lust for life I wish I had.
I regret this
I-
decision.
It's a lust for
I go to
something.
Glory. I go to Glory and I kind of give her. I give her a gold coin and say, for some of your fun, like use it to treat yourself, my dear.
Oh? Oh, thank you.
Okay. You guys head off
I regret
to
this
the Hawk and Harness. Now, the Hawk and Harness is a tavern that's in the middle of the city, and it's equidistant between the Liberty Quarter, the Merchants Quarter, and the Royal Quarter. And I'm just going to put it here on the map for you, where it is.
Draw.
Do a little X here, in green.
Oh, that.
There we go. You can see the X there, and I'm drawing a green X near some green buildings because I'm clever.
Oh, yes, very clever.
There we go. So you find yourself going up to a tavern that some of you have been in before, and sure, you recall seeing the green symbol there a few times, but there wasn't anything particularly special about it all. It's just a central tavern in the city, incredibly busy. You walk in, and this tavern is probably twice as wide as many of the taverns in the city. Taverns tend to be little bolt holes, and they're where people go in and out very quickly to get food. Being that this is in the centre of the city, it's quite a very successful business-wise area of the city. You know that around about this time of day, and it has got to roughly lunchtime anyway, there's a number of people bustling in and out, and you know this is typical city life. You go in, if you find a seat, you find a seat. If not, you eat at the bar, you finish up, and you head back to whatever your work was again. And again, there's about 3 different entrances / exits to the tavern because people are always going in and out. You head in there, and the place is packed, but you do see other people with the symbols. When you walk in there, you do get a certain number of kind of quizzical looks, but then when they kind of look at your wherever you've put your symbol. So on your chest or your belt or wherever you're displaying the green symbol, they take a look at that and then just nod as you come in. You get up to the bar, and standing behind the bar, well, there's many people working the bar. There's a huge press there, but you do notice that people part for you when you get there. Not just by the fact that you are still covered in blood.
Not me, I'm
Well,
just
not me, technically, because any blood that would have splashed on me would probably washed away with my own.
This is true. But you do still have the look of someone who's come out of a fight. Not least of which, Eclipse does have a load of dead people's belongings kind of in her arms, going and you just stuff it under a table for a bit.
It's not like putting backpack under a table. It's just like dead people's belongings.
There's
That's not unusual for me though. Like I will bring like proofs of what I've killed before to like my clients. So
Yeah.
just like a cat. So
presents.
I brought you a thing. It's a liver. So
It's my present to you. Eat it.
So
Yes.
you guys get into the bar that everybody parts, and you were about to be served by a dwarvish woman, and she just goes, "Oh, 1 sec." She turns around and pokes a guy behind her, and you can only see him from behind. So this guy, he's around about 6'2". He's got he's got quite broad-shouldered, but then kind of a bit of a pinched waist. He's got a kind of easy strength to him, but he's quite gaunt. His I guess his body shape is pretty similar to Aiden's. He's got a lovely deep bronze to his skin, and he's got his hair in kind of cornrows, I guess. And they go down to around about the middle of his back. The cornrows are tied together with this very strange embroidered length of material that's then just kind of laced back onto itself. And in his hair is a number of different things. So he's got little trinkets of porcelain and metal, and there's a couple of gems that's kind of secreted in the hair from here and there as well. There's 1 or 2 seashells that you can see that's in there. It's his hair is this beautiful jumble of things. It's not too much. It's not like a bric-a-brac. You could still see mostly the hair and just these little things just featuring and punctuating the hairstyle. And when he turns around, he looks at you and goes, "Oh, I didn't expect you until tomorrow. Well, if you were successful. But you're watching as this guy has a pair of perfect gold orbs for eyes." Okay? Some of you guys will have heard of these guys. They are quite rare. And this guy...
I know.
I was going to say, Farrell has already shuffled closer towards the bar.
Yeah.
Don't.
You almost died,
Farrell.
but
Fuck.
already going for it. Nice.
Standing in front of you, and you've never seen him in this tavern before, but standing in front of you is at around about 23, 24, you think, is a very attractive, smiling, and looking quite confident Kalashtar. Okay, the Kalashtari are a race from the Summer Isles in Ilaria. They mostly are from there. They are dotted about as well, but the race is known to have originated in the Summer Isles, and they are a humanoid race, very close to human, and they have incredible mental skills. Okay, so they are capable of resisting psychic powers, psychic energy, and they can speak using telepathy if they wish. So anybody who speaks any form of sentient language, they can just talk to them telepathically, and it will appear in their head as that language. Yeah, and he doesn't seem to be wearing any weapons. He has a loose kind of dark, I guess it's a t-shirt on. It'd just be a short sleeve jerking, I guess. And he's wearing slightly tight, what seems to be patched leather trousers. And the only thing that seems to be, although he looks quite stylish in this very simple getup, he does have quite expensive boots. That's what Glory would probably see, is that the boots are really nice. And they seem to be
on a man, like the boots.
They seem to be made from a type of exotic leather. Okay, so you're not sure, Glory? Are those Wyvern boots? I'm not quite sure. You know, it's some sort of exotic leather, but you can't put your finger on it. He says, "I was expecting you tomorrow. I mean, have you got the seal? You have. You've got the seal of approval already. I like this. So you must be the ones to watch, huh?"
Hello, friend.
Yes.
A lot of things happen.
It was really fun, honestly.
Ah, good. I'm glad to see that you've got some, what you call it, job satisfaction.
Simon, would I know of Kalashtar or Eclipse?
You all would have heard of the Kalashtar. I mean, they're an interesting race. They're considered quite opulent and exotic. He's actually dressed quite conservatively compared to most Kalashtar. They normally have quite colourful clothing. You know that the Kalashtar come from the Summer Isles, where the Minotaurs come from as well. So the Taurans effectively come from the Summer Isles as well. They in terms of population, they are one of the smaller percentages of the population of Valeria, but they hold on to the Summer Isles with a very careful rule, and there they hold on to a very proud and traditional culture. And the other place where you'll find Kalashtar in slightly higher amounts is in Austron, which is where you're from. So that you will know a little bit more about them. You have met them before, but everybody has heard of them. Nobody's got like more information than anybody else here. They are, well, as I've just said, a psychic humanoid folk. Okay.
Yeah, because I know, I just don't want to know what Eclipse knows.
Fair enough. So he says, "I'm afraid I haven't got your rooms ready yet, but they'll be ready in a few hours if you wish."
Drinks and food would go well.
Yeah.
First.
We didn't even know this was where we were meant to stay, so.
Oh, well, this is very lucky then.
You were expecting us?
Yes, I was informed that you would be the new residents here.
Sorry, I'm being rude.
Are we to live
Farewell.
Oh, Noki.
No.
Ooh, how do you spell that?
Eclipse.
Nohki. Yes, I'm Noki, and I've recently taken management of this establishment.
Oh.
And
Nice to meet you.
I'm to be your den keeper.
So, are we to live here?
Den keeper?
Oh, let's see. I am to be the one who runs the establishment in which you live and provide a front that allows you to rest in safety.
Well,
okay.
that makes sense.
Okay.
Well, nice to meet you.
Well,
very
would
nice
it
to
be...
meet you as well.
Could we get a private table somewhere?
I can do better than that. I can do your private room, and I can get to know you all individually. It's chaotic in here. Everybody's talking. So let's come with me. Come with me, please. And he takes you through to a back room. And
Eclipse, don't forget your stuff.
No, I get my stuff.
So I believe you asked a question. It is Cora. I'm thinking, yes.
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 Cora.
So you seem a little confused. You asking a question?
Well, no, you just said den keeper, and that just confused me. But then you explained, and no one's really told us very much so far. We've been told to go kill people. We did.
So fast-paced, high business. But you keep up with the wave, and you do very well in this city.
Simon, sorry. Whilst they're talking, can I see if I can spot one of the green symbols on him?
Absolutely, there's one at his belt. The one that he's got has got a gold trim around the outside.
He's better than us.
So yes,
Well, yeah.
I am your den keeper. I use the word from the Summer Isle, if you don't mind. So where we would be, I guess, is that I run the establishment that you are to call home. And you guys look around and you realize, hang on, this is going to be our home. This place is huge, absolutely huge. You know that it's probably got somewhere upwards of 50 rooms, and you're going to be here. He says, I check everybody on the way in. And when you hear him say, I check everybody on the way in, he says it very naturally, but you're there going, how does he check them? Because yes, I check them on the way in and make sure that they harbor no ill intent on you. And it means that after you've gone out and done what you've done, and you need to rest, recuperate, gain your strength back for the next mission, I provide a safe space.
How many residents are there here?
Currently 23. That's not including the staff. So currently 23 guests and 11 staff.
Okay. Are they permanent residents or just guests that are here for a night or two?
4 of them are what we would call long-term residents. Some here paid up for the month. I think there's another 6 of those. And the remaining are just passing through. Traders, travelers, what have you, adventuring parties, the usual.
Interesting.
And everyone works for the green?
Oh no,
Miss
no. I mean,
Green?
this is a green establishment, and all the staff are green, and we offer free food to all members of the green organization. As a result, they come here, they eat here, and if I ever need any help, they fight immediately under my orders because they are in my den. And I report directly to Renata.
Naki, I don't want to be rude, but would you mind giving us some moment to just talk amongst ourselves? We've been thrown through a bit of a grinder, and we need to sort of just debrief a little bit, in just so we can make sure we're all in the same place.
Yes. You must always take a rest from the grinders. So yes, I will leave you to talk amongst yourselves. The food will be along momentarily.
Can we have and I don't mind paying, but a couple of bottles of something strong. We've got some drinking to do.
You shall not pay for anything whilst you're here. This is your place, your home now, and I shall leave you to it. Yes, Lady Eclipse.
Yes. I just wanted to ask. So, our rooms are they kind of connected together? Do we have our own rooms, or what is it going to be like?
Of course, you have your own rooms. Each of you has a suite. You'll see later on when they're ready. We're still redecorating the last 2 and shipping in all the various supplies and luxuries. But please, don't you go sneaking up to look at them. I want to make sure that they are all exactly how I would want them to be when you first see them. So, yes, I shall...
You guys see, how cat eyes, they can be, they're really thin, but when they, and they just go...
We have a nosy cat now.
I shall leave you to it. Some good strong wine shall be coming as with the food.
Thank you.
And no, it is a pleasure to meet you. And at some point I shall catch up and find out exactly how you got here. So anyway, be well. And he walks away.
Simon, is it okay if we take just a small break?
Absolutely, yeah. So
Yeah, that's probably a good place to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
no problem. So we will be back in a few, guys. I'm going to go back onto the waiting screen for all the viewers, and we will see you in a few minutes. Welcome back, everybody. So you guys are sat in what is a small function room, and you have been brought good drink, good food. Platters have been laid out for you. Anything that you needed that was down to a specific dietary need or whatever has been provided. Fish has been provided, and you have a selection of drinks as well. Everything from liquor, strong wine, ale, and you are just able to recuperate. So this counts as a short rest for those who might need it.
Thank you.
I was about to say Aiden. And you guys get to talking. So I'll leave it to you to mull over what has been a very eventful morning so far.
As soon as we'll say he's left, he's come back, and sort of I'll go. This is gonna. There's no easy way to say this, but I spent most of my life with my caravan, and we had one rule, and that's don't talk work in the open. We've got to be careful because they told us to be stealthy about the job on the docks. We shouldn't talk about like we shouldn't be here, or we were killing people in a tavern full of others. I know it's all new for me as well, but I can disappear. I can just move. That might be harder for some of the rest of you. We've just got to be smarter, quicker.
People usually don't pay me mind. I mean, they kind of see me as like a homeless person, and they're kind of right. So.
I mean, last time I ran into trouble, I just went home for a year and came back. It was fine. People forgot. Most of them.
Don't worry, Farewell, so much. What we're doing, as far as I know, with the contract is legal. So you don't need to worry too much about running in with the guards, especially with the organization.
I don't trust guards. I don't trust anybody that isn't. Well, nobody in this room and nobody that doesn't share my surname.
It's a fair way to live.
Yes.
Back home, we always say don't trust anyone who you're not blood related to.
In all fairness, it's also true of some blood relatives.
Yes. And even then, there are exceptions.
Oh, then there's one other bit of business I want to talk about. That red dust we found.
Oh, yes, that.
Talking of not talking about stuff, I don't know whether we should talk about that here.
Oh, you see something interesting?
Yes, back at the warehouse. But, well, I don't know what it is, but from the look on Farewell's face, it wasn't good. And it's linked to this organization, which is running this place and probably listening and watching everything we do.
That's a
Fun.
good point.
Hello.
So let's eat and go for a walk.
Any of us have
Yeah.
lung detection?
No, you're right. Let's eat. Let's.
Talking about the jobs here, probably fine. The jobs that by this company we are part of, and I think everybody else here is pretty much a part of, but talking about that, I don't know.
Yeah. Let's rest first and eat some food and have a drink before we go anywhere. And
on that topic, the dagger we found.
yes.
Maybe you could help me figure it out, Cora. You're a spellcaster, right? Just like me?
Well,
It's magical in some way, but I can't really figure out more except that it affects the user in some way.
To be
well,
fair, Glory, I'm a spellcaster too.
Yeah.
what do you need? Because I don't have the ability to figure out magical stuff.
That's
I'm not,
not true.
I'm not proficient in Corcana. Cool.
Do I? No, I didn't take detect
No.
magic.
No. Just
Can still roll
an
Arcana.
arcane check on it.
Look, Cora. Trust yourself. What is it you always keep telling me? We'll get through things. Just trust in your abilities. You can do it.
Okay.
Okay, so Cora, I would like you to, before you roll, we'll go through the narrative of this.
Okay.
Glory
My Arcana
hands
is
you
0, guys.
Glory hands you the dagger. The second that you touch it, you hear this this little voice in your head, and it's your familiar. And she says, "No, no, no, that's not. No, you do. No, stop it,
I
stop
drop it. I drop.
it." As you do so, your little sprite goes zip past your hand. If you hadn't dropped the dagger, she was going to knock it out of your hand.
Simon.
Do we see the familiar?
Don't know. Does she make herself visible? In theory, she's invisible right now.
No, you guys have no idea. Cora just drops it.
I kind of feel it. I feel her brush past.
Even when she's invisible, you can see her, Cora.
Oh, good to know.
Simon, I was gonna ask, is it okay if I do like a lazy Arcana check? I'm proficient in Arcana, so I want to see if I can if I can find it anything about it by just giving it a quick glance.
Yes, so anybody can do an untrained Arcana check, even if you have proficiency in Arcanas. This is this type of dagger has a particular magical signature and also a particular background. So there's a reason why certain people hit it. So you're 18. Yeah, you look at it and you say, yeah, this is whatever that's got. It's a duelist enchantment. It's a main gauche. A main gauche is made for parrying, and so it would work very well with a finesse person like yourself or Eclipse. And it will be some kind of, I don't know, able to block something or react to something. You get as far as just looking at it from here, having never even touched it. You know that, well, in game mechanic terms, it uses your reaction.
I inspect it up close with a 16.
Okay, so
Arcana.
Cora drops it, and Eclipse goes to pick it up. Cora, you feel a little tickle on your shoulder as you know that your sprite has landed there, and you can see the kind of glassy outline of her. And she says, "It was trying to control your arm. No one controls you. No one. That was what I was told. No one controls you."
Are you okay?
Yeah, well, it has something about it. It's got some sort of controlling feature, and I don't like that. I don't know if it's good or bad.
Yes.
But it controls you somehow.
I agree.
Hello.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that does make sense. If it controls your arm, it's some kind of reactionary command.
I mean,
and
the
parry.
guy who had it, I mean, he didn't look like he was very good. I mean, he hit me, damn it. But he was like flailing all over the place and then being really like, oh my gosh, I hit something. Like as if he wasn't doing it. Maybe all his weapons were like that he actually had no skill
Point
at all.
of order, Cora. He didn't use it. It was on his belt, but he didn't actually use it.
I'd say
but he was the one who had it. So
he was.
I realized that. Yeah.
Wait. He hit you? Are you okay?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, you
Oh.
died, kinda. You went unconscious. I got hit. Yeah, look.
It's not the first time I've been knocked out.
Yeah.
There was this one time I was 13. They thought it was really funny. A mace. It took them months to put the teeth back in, but
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, they,
Okay.
were they
I
friends?
understand that. We have these games back home where
I
when
don't
the
wanna hear about
children
it.
learn how
I
to
don't-
fight, we go to dueling ring and
Maury, I will
it's
literally
so
pay you to shut up.
Love it.
You're
Love
kind of squeamish for somebody who takes a sword to their own body.
Also, as after I say that, also Cora, what you were talking about, that's just called being incompetent with a sword.
Hmm.
Trust me. So if he was possessed by anything or whatever, it'll be far more noticeable.
Well, maybe so, and I don't think he used the dagger, but that dagger definitely has a thing.
So, what do I get on my close-up inspection on the 16, Simon?
Okay, so just to quickly round off with Cora, the main feature that I wanted you to notice from what your sprite said is that she said, "I was told that no one was to control you." Okay, so
Okay.
Eclipse, you look it over, and what you said is 16, right?
16, yes.
Yeah, you do get that it's magical, and from what some of the guys have said already, you don't get any extra information. You do know that this school of magic isn't the schools of magic that you have mostly trained in. Okay.
Yeah, which
However,
is enchantment and
yeah.
use.
So you know that this isn't the school that you have trained in. However, that doesn't affect if you were to use the dagger, attune to it, and use the abilities that are attached to it. It
I'll
wouldn't.
try to attune to the dagger.
Well, presumably, as long as you tell the others that you're going to be doing that, because otherwise they'd say, why are you putting the dagger next to your body? Okay, so you guys.
Yes, I'll tell them.
Yeah. So you watch, and she explains as she starts to place the dagger in between her clothing and her body, and it's pressing against it. Now, I can see Farewell wanted to say something, so go ahead.
He was actually going to, as she started doing that, to reach out because he's like possession, controlling, and all he can think is his head is demons and that sort of stuff. And he was, but it's too late. She's already started, so he's just going to back off and just wait and see what happens.
Fair.
Okay, so you guys carry on. For those of you who haven't used hit dice to regain hit points, please do so now. And
What hit points? I haven't gotten hurt.
yes, glass
shut
cannon. You're
up.
glad that you haven't. So
I'll
I
just nuke these
killed
enemies
most
from
of the
miles
guys
away.
we run into, okay? I can be smug.
So that's pretty much an uneventful thing. You carry on talking. If there's anything else that you guys want to talk about, this is the part where it happens. You're left alone for a good few hours, however long you want to be left for, and Noki comes
Is
back.
it evening yet? So, how far along are we in the day? Are we supposed to have this?
It was lunch when we got here, so I'd say after talking for a few hours, it's mid to late afternoon-ish.
Yeah, I'd say that's about right. It depends how long you want to be drinking for, really. But
Mm.
so as you're drinking and talking,
if while we're sitting there, I'll just bring up the fact that the dagger can be worth a couple of 100 gold if we want to sell it.
I
mean,
don't know,
it could fetch at least 200. Maybe more, depending on if we can pinpoint the enchantment.
I might want it.
To point
I
out,
think that she would enjoy it. let's leave it with her, and if she starts whispering to it, then we'll intervene.
Yeah, matters can be taken if that turns out to be some demonic bullshit.
I'd like to point out that you
Um,
guys have not seen 200 gold pieces in one place before. Okay. Well, I say you guys. Certainly, Aiden, Eclipse, Farewell, and Cora have never seen 200 gold pieces in one place before. Glory has seen upwards of about 7,000 or 8,000 gold pieces in a big pile with a dragon on top before, but even then, that memory is seared into her brain as being exceptional, even for her.
Oh yes, that is the dream, the goal.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yes, the
So-
whole.
I think we're all a bit too seasoned D&D player to know that 200 gold isn't actually that much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking we're not mattering too much, but for Farewell, I don't think he could even comprehend what that would look like. So it doesn't mean too much to him. It's like saying 11 billion.
Yeah.
It's just a number.
Yeah.
Mm.
With Aiden, like I was gonna say, as Aiden is like, I mean, isn't the Green Organization just gonna pay us like this or more?
Yeah,
Exactly.
most likely. He
Yeah.
did say we would be compensated, and I do not think Green would give us less than we deserve.
Speaking of Miss Green, perhaps it's time to go see if we can get paid.
That would be nice.
Hello,
Would.
Hello
I
again, my
was
friends.
looking at this pretty dress the other day.
Noki comes back in and says, "Hello again, my friends. I'm hoping that everything is to your liking."
I mean,
Yeah.
Yes.
The
yeah.
food is
Yeah.
great. Thank you.
Very good. You have a visitor. If
I used
you,
to have free lunches.
Yep.
Ooh,
You have a visitor.
he's a friend.
Yes, you have a visitor. If you are all okay to
Mhm.
part with your private time.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Sure.
Sure.
we'll happily see to our friend.
I shall let them in now. The door opens, and not one person, but several people come in. So
Oh, boy.
the people who come
I'm
in
uncomfortable.
are the Dragonborn barbarian that you saw before,
Oh yeah.
a male human fighter, a female Goliath fighter. I don't know why I'm saying fighter. It's a very quick way of saying what they're dressed as.
Yeah.
And then a male tiefling, all in the same kind of very expensive, very professional armor. So yeah, a tiefling, a Goliath, a human, and Dragonborn. And the first person to speak is Hecris. She says, "These are the new associates that..." Oh, I'm speaking as Nuki. "These are the new associates. They're the ones that killed the Razor Boys that did us wrong. We owe them a debt of gratitude, I think."
Greetings, Hecris.
Greetings,
Hello.
greetings, everybody, and thank you for your. And you notice she's very humbled now. She goes, and thank you again for everything that you did, and for
You don't have to thank us.
for the
Don't
right
worry.
the rights as well. They were seen to the gods as soon as possible after their death. We should all be so lucky. Some of us would be lying in a ditch for a long time until somebody found our remains, or thrown into a sewer. But no, they had as best as can be. Let me introduce you to the rest of my compatriots, and I guess the last remaining members of the Cobbledogs. So she points out the human. This is Fren. Nobody's faster with a set of knives than him. He can dance around somebody and not thinking anything has happened to them until all of a sudden they start looking at their skin, and from wounds that don't appear to be present, little welts of blood will start to appear on the skin, and then next thing they know, they have curtains of blood just pouring down their body. He's well known in all the wrong places. This is Lagarth Riverheart, and the Goliath stands her full 7.5 foot tall, and she gives it a bow, but with her fist in her hand, almost like a monk. And Hecris says, yes, she started off just another barefist fighter down on the docks, and she was walking down the promenade one day, and she saw somebody who was being beset by more scum from the Liberty Quarter, and she waded in, ended up bludgeoning one guy to death with a barrel, and then another guy to death with another guy, and she ended up on Renata's radar. The Cobble Dogs, if you haven't guessed already, are street fighters. We walk around the city keeping a very physical presence. You've probably not heard of us because we don't usually use our name out and about in the streets. Our job is to be present. Our job is to walk around and just be other people in the street. I'm probably the most noticeable one of the lot. She kind of pats her mithril armor and says, well, every leader's got to be noticed, right?
Yes.
Finally, this is Cherish, and the tiefling gives a kind of charismatic tip of the hat. He's got this kind of floppy hat, almost like a bard, like a bardic hat. And he's got a buckler that goes the length of his forearm and a rapier by his side. She says he mostly spends his time down on the docks. If there's some strange guy walking around looking for a fight, looking for a duel, typical kind of bravo that would walk around, he gives them the duel that they don't want. He normally lets them live, nothing wounded their pride, and a few little keepsakes on the skin. But he stops there being a dueling scene on the promenade, and we get paid handsomely for it. We made the mistake of going into the wrong tavern, and we got into an argument with the Razor Boys. It didn't start off as an argument. They were mouthing off about how wonderful they were. They're kind of a loose cannon in the Liberty Quarter. The king doesn't have as much of a hold on them as I'm sure he'd like. And they've been pressing their luck over the last 2 months. You guys probably wouldn't have seen it, but they've gone into yards they shouldn't have gone into and harassed certain people, try to get protection money off people that they are not protecting. Some of them, green organizations. And they started pressing into other business, and they were making life hard for the king. The fact that we've now cut their numbers down, or rather, should I say, you have cut their numbers down, that should clip their wings for now. But they clearly had some sort of plan, and they didn't give a damn about what the will of the king was. King of Thieves is, well, I don't approve of him, but he's a competent individual, as Renata herself would say. And he keeps things in balance. He keeps what I'm sure him and the Duke call the game. But everything is starting to go a little bit out of whack in the city, and we're trying to push that back in the right direction. And it was only when they were spouting off about saying they could go wherever they want, do whatever they want. And all I said, because, well, I'm paid to say it, is except on green property. Well, that was it. They kicked off. At first it was just harsh words. But, well, once you take some of their pride, it just digs at them until they feel like they have to do something about it. In all fairness, I should have just let them spout off, but
Sorry, Simon, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say farewell. We'll just pour a round of drinks for everybody, move them forward. We can all lament on the mistakes we've made. That doesn't mean things have changed. Come, let's drink and remember the dead.
Thank you, blessed. Or should I say farewell? I can't keep calling you that, can I? I'll leave that for the church. But I'm not really lamenting. I mean, I'm lamenting the fact that it led to deaths, but I would do it again in a heartbeat. Reputation's important in the city. You'll get to know this. Because now, well, and I'm glad that you came here, you took my advice. Reputation in the city is really important. And those guys now are going to be digging for you. I mean, once they find out that it was you guys who took out some of their numbers, they're going to be gunning for you as an example. And unfortunately, those items at your hip, which you look down and they're now gone, those items at your hip aren't going to be much use. In fact, that will actually be a target. There are times, and she pats the one at her hip, and she goes, there's times when it's like painting a target on your body, but that's our job. There's a reason why the workers don't really carry them on display. They normally have them on like uniform and stuff, sure, but they don't have the tokens because they like to be able to hide them. Put a coat on or a cloak or something like that, and those things disappear. We carry them and we place them in places where everybody sees them so that we're the lightning rod for any wrath that comes our way. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. And they would do it again in a heartbeat too.
I'm a lot more used to finding targets than being one, but I think I'll manage.
And we didn't leave any of them around, so hopefully they don't know us. And by the way, Simon, I realized I never explained when Cora turned back to being Cora because I had cast Mask of Many Faces. So I'm
Cora's
guessing
the only person who wasn't recognized.
But we killed all of them.
But she's probably now seeing someone different to who I was when I was rescuing Farewell, because I expect I was still disguised until we all went and walked away.
Oh yeah, you looked something different, but Hecris just seems to know who you are.
Yeah. Everyone seems to.
Yeah.
Well, I do not think these guys will be any more annoying than my cousin Excellence. His assassination attempts are tiresome.
At that point,
I take a big swig of wine.
At that point, you see Cherish throw his head back in laughter, and he goes, "Oh my word! They didn't call one of your cousins Excellence? I mean,
oh, they did.
That's just a recipe for an ego. I mean, come on. I regret being called Cherish, but I'd much prefer it to Excellence. My word." You see that he's got very much a gentlemanly voice to him, and his laugh is actually quite. Can you have a cultured laugh? I guess it is a very gentlemanly laugh. And the way he holds his wine glass, he pulls out a cigar and lights it with the tip of his finger, and then starts to smoke. And he starts to relay a few little bits of gossip around the city, most of the things you've heard, but he's just kind of doing it just to make small talk, about certain traders that are in trouble, certain ships that came in. He tells you about the fact that the Shacklemen came in and were going through their ship and trying to find something, but they had to somehow come into port to do it, and they had to have a word with the harbour master because they are technically outlawed in this country, but yet there was some sort of deal that was done where they could come into this city for a day and then they left again. So yeah, a lot of these little things that just come up. The Shacklemen, is a pirate faction that is effectively an anti-slavery faction. Slavery doesn't really exist in South Bardencourt, but a very unfair form of indentured servitude does occur within South Bardencourt. It doesn't occur that much in this city. There are people who are servants who are kind of beholden to families, but there's not much in indentureship here. But there is elsewhere. Aiden's home district in south of Ardencourt is very close to the border with Sylvania, and there's none there either, which is good because if any of that stuff happened, the Canals would pretty much go up and crush it. Normally, a good sign that a vampire has taken over an old castle or something like that is to find thralls and people who are kind of enslaved, indentured, oppressed in that way. It would be one of the little fireworks to send the Canelms over to find out what's going on, and usually end up burning the castle down.
Hecris, I've got a quick question for you.
Of course. How can I help you?
We've finished our work, but we're not really sure if we're supposed to check in or what we're supposed to do to, get paid.
I'll check for you. She touches the badge at her belt, concentrates for a second, and says, Olivia, what do you want with the new guys? There's a moment, and she kind of tilts her head as if listening to somebody. And she goes,
Yeah, I'm tapping Cora and pointing at it. I'm not being sus.
I'm gonna look down at my symbol. Did you say the symbols had gone?
Yeah, yours had disappeared.
Okay, I'm gonna notice that.
Yeah,
and then
sure.
be like, oh.
She opens her eyes again and she says, and you notice I'm trying to be as soft-spoken as Simon can be because her being Dragonborn, she has a kind of softness to her voice, but she's still got a dragon's voice. And she turns around and says, Olivia will be with you momentarily.
Oh,
Fun.
wonderful.
Good.
Glory, make sure you're paying attention.
We will leave you to it. I'm sure that you're going to have things that you wish to discuss with Olivia. So we're going to get some grub out front and go and speak to some families, I guess. Thank you again.
Do you guys live here too?
No, we live a little further down. We live in the warehouses. So there's a couple of factories and warehouses that were acquired by Renata, and you notice that they use the word Renata. They don't say Ms. Green. That was acquired by Renata about 6 years ago, I think it was. We moved in about 5 years ago, and a lot of the things that are being created there's a small amount of enchantment that goes on, and they do use some precious metals for some of the processes. Means that they get targeted by thieves all the time. So the fact that we live there is a bit of a deterrent. But they did very well for us. They converted some of the offices on the top floor into effectively an apartment. But it's very good for us. And we can use the factory floor at night to, the parts of the factory that aren't being used at night, it does go all night. But part of it is not used. And we use that for sparring. And also with us clanging swords and fighting and shouting and all the rest of it, can't hear us over the machinery there. So it means we don't get the guards bursting in trying to break up supposed fights when all we're doing is sparring. So it works well for us.
Okay. Well, if you need us, apparently we're here. And if we need to spar, we can come find you.
She turns around to you and says, absolutely.
No, thank you.
And Hector, thank you again for earlier. I thought we'd lost him.
Yes, I owe you one. You saved my life.
You owe me nothing. We're allies. That's what we do for each other.
No.
Thank you, Harris.
You call on me and you don't forget that.
Don't you worry, I will be. Especially if I end up getting cut up by more of those razor boys. You're going to end up having to stitch pieces of me back on.
It won't be the last time.
I'll see you later.
He's good at that.
Take care, guys. And a much calmer and, when she is calm, quite charismatic actress walks out. You get nods of approval and kind of smiles from the others as they walk off. Bear in mind, they've just lost 5 of their friends. They were a band of 9 and now they're a band of 4. So they must have some fears. But they give you smiles, nods. Cherish, once again, gives his kind of as he steps away. And a few minutes pass, and suddenly there's a at the door, and
Oh joy.
stood there is the pale, gaunt, white-haired, still in the same piper's jacket, and as I say, kind of fitted trousers, and as I say, kind of riding boots, but with a sword at her hip. That you remember, she conjured a sword last session as she was riding along. She walks in and says, "Is this a good time?"
Better
It's
than any other.
always a good time with you.
Yes, you really need to think of who's going to be a spokesperson. And
I'm just going to fill up
Not
Aiden's
her.
glass.
It's not gonna be me for fucking sure.
I'm going to fill Aiden's glass, then I'm going to fill mine, and then I'm going to fill Corey's, and then offer the bottle to anybody else.
I kind of push like Glory to the side a little bit and was like
so
hello.
you have had a bit of a
Sorry,
interest.
minor inconvenience. Sorry.
No,
It's okay.
sorry.
So you've had somewhat of a interesting first day on the job. How do you think it
You
went?
could say that. All things considered, with Farewell almost dying, I'm happy we all survived.
Yeah, I could have done without the axe in the chest. That was unpleasant.
That's what most of us would call an occupational hazard.
Well,
But
Hecris just told us that we can get some of these bottles. Apparently.
You mean healing potions, my dear?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so maybe before we go on this next crazy adventure, we can get some of those, please.
provisions will be supplied. I assure you of that.
That's good, because, otherwise we die. That doesn't help you very much.
Hey, I'm still here.
I know.
We
We
do
really
like to,
appreciate it if we didn't die.
we do like to keep hold of our investments and our assets, and it sounds like you'll be quite an asset to us.
Did you manage to sort out whatever you were doing?
She reaches into a bag and pulls out a severed head.
Okay, I guess that's a yes.
Cheery.
Gifts.
You know, it's really bad
I
to take
look
the
at it
head
like, nice
and leave-
work.
and leave the body, right? Where did you leave the body?
At several key locations.
I take Farewell's arm and just sort of trying to comfort him, thinking, this is kind of part of it. Maybe when they're done, it's like you can deal with it later.
Simon, I really want to make another check to see if Aiden is 100% sure that she is not a vampire or some other type of thing like that.
Aiden, I will definitely give Aiden another crack at this. Yeah, go for it.
Insight.
I will allow insight, perception, or investigation from Aiden. You're the only person who's met a vampire.
Do I get advantage because of my Hunter's Bane?
Yes, you do.
Because Hunter's Bane gave me advantage on recalling information about
Absolutely.
basically like undead vampire
Yeah.
fiends, shit like that. Investigation.
Yeah.
Fucking nat 20.
Brilliant. Okay. So first of all, Olivia is not a vampire. Okay.
Damn it.
However, you get the faintest little blip of recognition of, yeah, she's not a vampire. I can tell she's not a vampire, but man, there's a reason why I checked twice. She looks so like a vampire, and yet she's a living, breathing person. You know, she's not undead, but there's just something about her. What is it? And you can see how she's holding up the head with a little bit of pride and familiarity, as in, this isn't the first head she's lobbed off. And I will give you for you as well, although the others will have seen this too, is that the head has been cut off with a single clean, straight stroke. Okay, this thing hasn't been hacked off, sawn off, disjointed, butchered, whatever. It was lobbed off. Okay, with a single strike. So as you're checking, you're there going, yeah, you know, and I'm going to give you, off the back of that nat 20, I'm going to give you an insight check at a much lower DC.
Not a straight roll or advantage?
I'll give it a straight roll.
Uh, 12.
That's fine. It was 15 reduced to 10, so I'll give it to you. Yeah. Because of the nat 20, it reduced the follow-on DC. You have seen some people, although she looks nothing like them in appearance, there's something about her demeanor which reminds you of thralls. Okay. Do you know what I mean by a thrall?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, she reminds you a little bit of a thrall, except thralls are usually mindless idiots. She's sharp as a pin, but there's just something about her demeanor that has that kind of, you just don't know what it is, but it just tripping off the back of that nat 20. If you were to try to classify her in any of the classifications, it would be a thrall.
Right. Okay.
Which kind of makes you go, hang on, if she's the thrall, is Renata the vampire? Okay. So
Okay, that.
Do you? Are you gonna tell us this at some point, or are you just gonna keep it to yourself?
I mean,
Well, not now.
Not now.
Yeah. So back to Olivia. She says, as she puts the head back in the bag, and she said, I'm sorry, Farewell. I know that this is some form of discomfort for you, but it got political. I've been told that you killed the 4 that you found, the 4 that were responsible for the death of some of our cobble dogs. I think you've got the gratitude of the cobble dogs right from the start. But I think what you've also got there is you put yourself in danger's way. I mean, the Liberty Quarter will certainly be paying attention to you now, the king, and also the remaining members of the Razor Boys. And the Razor Boys are obviously going to be a little irked now that I've beheaded the leader and distributed messages. So I would say it's not so much a case of do you want to join the organization, and less and more a case of she pulls out of a different bag, you're pleased to know. She pulls out 5 tokens similar to the ones that were on your belt. They do have subtle differences to the ones that you were wearing, and she throws them on the table and says, welcome to the organization.
And I say, I pick one up and attach it to my belt.
The second that Glory, Eclipse, and Cora touches these symbols, you immediately identify them as being magical in nature. They're what's called cooperative magic. So cooperative magic lets itself known. You don't have to use detect magic on it. Cooperative magic enchantments will reveal themselves immediately to a magic user when touched. Okay. And
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Cora's gonna hesitate before she touches it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Having a moment of, is this the best idea? Can I we're in now? But thinking about what Awen said as well, and it's like, am I giving control over? Can I get out of it? Just going over lots of things in her head before she picks it up. She's not going to pick it up straight away. It's definitely
Yeah, I think Farewell's going to share that hesitation, and is when they first got into this, is definitely going to follow her lead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just pick it up.
Same. I hesitate.
Okay.
I don't.
As Cora reaches out and hesitates, let me get it right. It's Awen, isn't it? It's not Awen.
It's Awen.
Awen, yeah. As you hesitate, Awen notices, she detects it, flits down. Of course, the rest of them can't see her. Only you can see the glassy contour of her form as she bends down like kind of Tinkerbell style, and kind of touches it. And then you hear in the back of your head, "It's okay. It won't hurt you."
Yeah, and then I take it. I kind of give a tiny nod, almost. Say okay to her. I say okay.
Yeah. And the second you pick it up, the badge immediately, it doesn't count as an attuned item, but it attunes to you and immediately tells you one of its functions. Okay. One of its functions is that it can be used to communicate with other members of the green organization that you've met. You simply place your hand on it, close your eyes, concentrate on them for a second. A kind of awareness appears in the back of their head, almost like an alarm appears in the back of their head, and they suddenly feel the presence of the person who is trying to contact them. So if you were to try to contact Farewell, you could put your hand on the badge, think of Farewell, and Farewell would feel your presence. He'd just feel like Cora wants to speak to him. He just knows it. And then when you feel that connection kind of click, as you speak, it would appear in his head.
But you have to speak out loud? I'm sorry.
No, you can choose to either speak out loud if you're more comfortable doing so, or you can just concentrate, as with the message spell. The message spell normally requires you to whisper, but in my world, the message spell, you just think the words. And they will appear in the head of the person who has one of these grades of badges. You also kind of get the idea that not many people have these type of badges. So in some cases, you might be able to contact like a low-ranking member of the green organization, and they will be able to answer you back, but they won't be able to call you.
I'm gonna
fancy mobile phones.
Yes.
Once I'm gonna, after sort of seeing this, if I'm gonna look over and see if Farewell has his in his hand, and I'm just gonna kind of look at him and try and do it and go, testing, does this work? Basically.
Bear in mind, Farewell didn't get the didn't get the cooperative magic effect. So
no.
As he picks it up, there's just this voice that just jumps into his head saying, "Test, does this work?"
I'm just like, I'm looking at him. I'm trying to make eye contact and be like, we can talk with these.
How did you do that without moving your lips?
You just think of the person you're trying to contact and then sort of send the thoughts to their head. It's weird, but it worked, right?
Yeah, and Farewell does it. He back. He sort of goes testing back just to see if it works. Like kids with like
Here, by the way, I
walkie-talkie.
dropped my
Yeah.
dice.
A can to the ear.
Yes.
This works. Oh my god.
You notice that
Well-
during the time that you're doing this, Olivia just stands there patiently waiting for you to kind of finish.
Yeah.
Like, attach it to my belt.
My dice.
For farewell, he's gonna have he's gonna just clip it alongside the little symbol of the Raven Queen that he's got on his belt.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I haven't figured out where Glory's putting it yet. I'll have to go back to my drawings and.
I'm sure it will be in the most appropriate place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I don't place it on anywhere just yet. I just have it in my hand for the moment.
okay. Okay. Right. So, yeah, you guys managed to figure out what these badges do, and Olivia continues. So, I believe you did rather well on the whole. You followed instructions. You didn't burn down any property, and you went in and took a risk to impress us and do the right thing. That's what we're about. Doing the right thing. Not the convenient thing, not the sensible thing sometimes, but doing the right thing. Sometimes the right thing in this city is hard to see, but we're the ones who must do it. We're about people. People are a resource that you can't renew. Buildings can be rebuilt. Treasures can be claimed back. But people? Talent especially. Once that's lost, it's lost forever. The innocence and safety that we have within the city. Some people would never want to be here. They wouldn't want to live here, not when there's these idyllic villages out there. But they're not protected. Life is hard. Here, we work hard. Yes, of course we do. And we live in places sometimes that are a little small and a little, well, some people would say uncomfortable. But in the grand scheme of things, we have to be grateful for what we have. And we are grateful. We're grateful for all of those that are around us. We have families and friends and colleagues that go throughout the city every day, just trying to keep their head down and do their own thing. And that's what we allow them to do. We allow them to be just another face of the crowd. But when they're picked out into what I'm sure some people would call an adventure, but anyone with an iota of sense would call danger, that's where we step in. We don't think ourselves adventurers. We think ourselves, I don't know, risk management, I guess. When someone has the risk, we manage it, take it away from them. And we put it on our shoulders. Don't get me wrong, we're not saints. The people who succeed at these adventurous exploits tend to gain a lot of power, and then a lot of risk, and then, if they're successful, more power and more risk. That's who we are. That's who Renata Green is. For you to meet her, you first have to understand her. Understand that she is a product of the city. She was made by the city. She lives as part of the city. And if she was to fall, part of the city would die with her. Not only that, but the balance of the city would be shifted in such a way that would have catastrophic effect. She's not going to live forever. And she would admit herself that she's getting on in her years. But she hopes to leave a legacy of safety and balance, and that her name would live on, making sure that this city and the people within will always be able to hold by her symbol and pull together as an organisation. We do a lot of dirty work, but we have to. I hope you'll understand that when we give you the missions we give you, that there's a good reason behind each of them. Please remember that. When we ask you to do something, it's not out of ego or greed or jostling around for any form of power. We do this, and if we ever do collect power, it's to make sure it doesn't go into the wrong hands. Do you understand? I mean, does that make sense?
It all sounds very.
Yeah.
I expect you to be skeptics, especially considering where you come from. Cora, Farewell, Iden. You've seen the worst that the city has to offer, and yet the best. The Freetown, I don't know how Robar does it, frankly. He gets so little, but achieves so much. But understand we're here for you all, even Freetown. Robar does a wonderful job. But, well, I don't need to tell you, there are people who live and work even in Freetown. We try to make sure that we don't interfere with Robar's fantastic work. But what we do for the whole of Ostergold. I guess we'll just have to prove to you in time. But I need your faith now. I need your trust now. And most of all, when I call on you, I expect your obedience now.
Well, we followed you
Of
today,
course.
didn't we?
Hmm.
You did. And you did very well. I suggest you get some rest. And I think that Noki has finished preening your new quarters. We have some gifts for you, but you've come here a little early. We'll send them by in the morning. Until then, sleep well and sweet dreams. I've got
Question.
a delivery to make. Yes.
Wait.
Yes, Cora.
Well, I mean, we all came from somewhere. Are we allowed to go back and pick up anything we have in our homes?
Of course. This is a home that we've offered you. I'm sure you have other homes. Please, by all means, just know that this is available for you. But one word of caution. Where you go now, you go as a member of our organization. When you travel safe. Do you understand?
Sort of. One question though. Is there a rule for these? Are we meant to keep them on display at all times? Are we okay hiding them if we're sneaking around? What's the deal?
Do with them as you wish. They're a gift and a shield and a responsibility.
And a burden.
Exactly that. This is an occupation that you've taken, and that is the occupation right there. You're under the symbol, as we all are, for better or for worse. Good night. She turns
Good night.
around
Night.
and
Night.
very gracefully steps from the room.
As soon as she's out of earshot, I say, "Yeah, I don't trust like that."
Yeah, I gotta say, I do feel like we got the hard sell there.
There's an ulterior motive,
Well,
especially because she seems a little thrallish.
I'm gonna go to the door and
Is
look
that
out.
word?
I want to see if
Oh?
she's gone.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, Cora, she seems to be gone. In fact, there's no one in the corridor.
Okay.
And I say, I mean, she is missing the characteristic stupidity of your regular thrall, but everything else it's there.
Do I know
So-
what that is?
If not,
Yes.
I can explain quickly. Yeah.
will have heard of you've got enough background, Cora, to have heard stories of vampires and the fact that they keep thralls and ghouls as well.
Mm.
What have we got ourselves into?
We've
So-
never actually found out if there's an out. That's the only thing that worries me. But to be honest,
Where can we go?
well,
Yeah.
there's always a way out, if you know what I mean. I kind of look at Farewell.
Yeah, I've been down that road today. It's not
Oh,
not our time yet. But
no.
I don't know. I guess just
I am happy here. Will serve my goals well.
Indeed.
Well,
That
let's
looks
just see how it goes, I
Yeah.
guess.
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad not to
Anyway,
be
I think
slipping
it's
in
time
an
for bed,
alleyway anymore.
guys.
you slept in an alleyway?
Eh,
Is that what you
I would like to stop by my apartment to get all my dresses.
We're going to have to clean all of your things, aren't we? This is to Iden, by the way. He's completely ignored the fact that Glory's probably got like 9 million dresses will not surprise Farewell. The fact that Iden is sleeping in an alleyway in Freetown, it just boggles his mind.
I don't actually have prestidigitation, so I can't help him there.
Right, we need to take that walk, Cora. We need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to.
I'm gonna go
What time is it?
and get my things.
I'm gonna take a nap.
That's where I'm going to wrap up. So you guys,
That's fine.
step into the cabin proper. You speak with Noki, and you get basically a bunch of people who offer their services to you. So people who can carry things. A couple of carters come up to you and say, if you've got a few things to bring here, we can just drive a cart around the city if you want. You can just put it in the back, and that means you'll be able to travel together if you wish, or if you want, you can take a few different carts if you want to go to different areas. That's
Farewell's will be more interested in somewhere where he could probably store his caravan.
Yeah. So at the moment, your caravan is stored at the Raven Queen's temple, and that's a very safe place. If you wanted to just keep it there and just go pick up some stuff there, then that's absolutely fine. And we'll just say that by whatever means and with whatever help can be provided by organization members who seem to have been slightly briefed on the fact that you guys might need some help with something, you go off and collect your things. I will be asking at the beginning of next session where you're going to be sleeping that night. And if you knew what just happened in the Tuesday game that I run, you might be a bit scared because somebody did wake up with a CR9 assassin on her chest. But,
Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm currently. That wasn't me, but I'm with something else, and like it's an invisible enemy. But thankfully, I'm a druid, so I'm gonna conjure an earth elemental, and I'm gonna turn into a giant scorpion, which both can like detect invisible things, and I'm gonna be fine.
So they are very powerful characters, but even though they've been playing with me for nearly a year now, these level 10 characters. Well, you're more than a year now, but these level 10 characters.
9.
They're about to be level 10. Are, even then they're shocked and like, oh my god, we're going to die. So it's great to do that. So you guys, I will be asking where you're going to be sleeping. It is for a reason, but don't worry, I'm not going to kill you all just yet. So with that,
Yeah. Look, after today,
Okay, so thank you everybody for playing. Thank you for bearing with some of the technical problems, and they will get less and less as we go along. Thank you again to Kate for the graphics. Watching this as it's going on is fantastic. and I'm going to get better at using them, I promise. And for everybody who's watching, thank you very much. I can see some of you guys on the live chat now, and thanks very much for joining us there as well. And I hope that you're enjoying what's going on so far. We've had our first near-death experience, so Rowan's just said if it doesn't work, try turning it off and turning it on again. I did that with the recording and forgot to switch it back on again, so I'm going to have to rip the video from this.
Oh no.
So
We need to upload all the other VODs as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So
definitely.
everyone can watch all
Yeah.
4 episodes.
On the
Yeah.
YouTubes.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I've
and
got
on
my work
YouTubes.
cut out this weekend. So this weekend I will be doing all the VODing and ripping this video
Well-
off Twitch and things. So it's the next task
Ye-
along, as is making your
And-
avatars.
Well, I'll talk to you afterwards, but you can export straight to YouTube. So.
Yeah, so that's good too. Right, thank you very much, everybody, and good night.
Night.
Thanks.